Here's a roundup of Netflix's top. Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. We'll talk to you guys about Love is Blind. We're dealing with episodes 7 to 10. It's going to be a manic one. It's a late one, but it's a manic one. Do you get me? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember a lot that happened the rest of the episodes. I just remember episode 10. I can't even cap with you. Usually, I usually have notes ready for 7, 8, 9, but I can't remember half the things that happen. So, as an audience, if you're here, you're going to probably have to help us, remind us of some things that are going on. But you know what? We're going to do our best to provide you the best content today and talk about some of the couples here. Hey, I'll be honest with you. Brennon, Alexa. I just remember the fact that they made another joke about they make another joke about the knife situation, but they were really harping on Brennon making sure he financially delivers. So I can understand that. He's gonna have a battle on his hands dealing with that particular family as well. Nancy, Bartese, we saw them as well a little bit more. They're I guess they're now getting to the stage where they're gonna either say yes or no at the altar. That's another aspect. So there were some conversations they were having as well that were important between the two of them. We'll discuss that. SK Raven, you already know how I felt about that situation. I discussed it earlier on. It's a bit of a mad one. And there's one more couple, and I cannot think of their name. Who is the other couple? And I've forgotten their name. Cole, that's it. Colin, and Colin Zanab. So they seem to be they seem like they were getting into a better place, but there was a few issues that got on there, and obviously we had Colleen and also Matt as well. But yeah, we're gonna talk some more today as well. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. Keep it cute in the chat. Am I testing fate by saying that keep it cute in the chat after what's happened in the last few days? All right, cool. Let's go. Let's get into this. Love is Blind. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about some of these couples real quick. Let's see. Who should we do first? I honestly cannot remember half the things that happened in these episodes. This is mad. Let's talk about this. Colin, let's quickly talk about Colin Zanab. And then we'll break down Colleen and Matt, and then we'll get to the most important chops as well. So we had obviously Colin Zanab. Who wants to go first in terms of the thing? All I remember for Colin Zanab was that they seem to be getting closer, but then Zanab's insecurities keeps playing on the situation. But I want to see if anyone else had any other thoughts with Cole and Zanab. We're probably going to end up doing SK and Raven at this rate. Any other thoughts on Colin Zanab?
Yeah, I mean, listen, y'all, come on, coach. I need y'all to come through here because y'all unfortunately play catch up. I done binge watched all these episodes, and now everybody's run out of gas. But I'll say with those two, what I've seen in these last few episodes is her continuing to spiral a little bit. But I think she's got a little bit of reason to spiral. Cole is not, the most secure. He's a little bit messy, a little bit all over the place in terms of, how they're living and, the cohabitating thing when two people are combining households. I think, that's a tricky situation. So I think Cole needs to just tidy up a little bit more. And Zanab needs to relax. But I think, listen, it's how you start a lot of times, your foundation. And the mere fact that, hey, listen, we're going to be provocative, right? We had a provocative last couple of days, so we're going to keep the provocativity going. So meanwhile, Cole messed up by talking about how much he's attracted to Colleen and this, that, and the third. So it's very hard to come back from that, right? And I happen to think Zanab is a beautiful woman, right? If I look across the ladies in the cast, she's probably the most attractive to me, my little opinion. But when you kind of start off that very early on and somebody tells you that another person that they were in the process with is their type, I think that is very difficult to come back from. Now, they've got good chemistry and they're, moving along, but, sometimes those things sit in your mind and it's very, hard to shake it. So that's what I see. I do think she's a bit of a nitpicker. I don't think she's, perfect by any means. She definitely can nitpick and be sarcastic and a little snarky. So that stuff and personality traits for her to work on. But yeah, and I think like if they don't get it together though, she's not giving him security either, and I think he's a little insecure and wanting to make sure that if he says yes, she says yes, and she's making him hold out to the very end. Like, hey, listen, I'll know, but I'm gonna tell you, if I think it's gonna be a no on decision day, then I'm gonna let you know. It's like, that's a little, that's not reassuring.
Not decision day. You over here combining
The
shows,
math, right? What is it? Wedding day, vow day? What do they call it?
wedding day or whatever.
Basically the same day.
Basically the same day.
In the same day, y'all.
Yeah, I'm actually glad Sean went first because I finally some of the things from the episodes came
So
to
I'll come back
me.
to you.
We got to do these the day after it because otherwise
Bruh.
my brain is just clouded with things. But there's a few things that are coming to me now that I started thinking. One, the wedding dress episode. I think that was in this kind of section where Zanab was trying on her wedding dress and she was talking about um she was with her stepmother and just talking about how her she wished her family was there because they're no longer here on earth. That really kind of showed, not that we needed something to remind us, how that she still really has that gap that she really needs filled. um and how a person like Cole, who's kind of all over the place and has his family issue, which I'm going to get to next, is really not a good match for her. On top of the fact that she when you lose your parents, I would assume you feel like you're losing like a safe space, a safe net, like someone that you can always depend on. And to jump from that already uneasy space to Cole, I think is not comfortable, which is why kind of like with their porch scene that they were sitting on the porch, it just seems like no matter how nice a day is, it goes left with them. Like there was a couple of episodes where things were so nice or things look like they were so nice and it goes left. Um and that's just very interesting to me. But Cole's parents following Zenab on Instagram, but then telling Cole that this is not a person that I could really see you with, really is all Zenab needed to know. Like, I know there's some people, like how Raven was saying, I'm marrying you, not marrying your family. You are 1,000% marrying a person's family. Like, this family is now going to be your family. Like, you guys are going to be tied, forever tied and intertwined. These people will be your grandchildren, the grandparents to your children. And I just feel that if my future parents-in-law said that this is not somebody who I want you to be with, that would have been almost enough for me to reconsider being married. Because I think that's an important relationship that can't be forgotten. So, I think that in and of itself is enough for her to say no to Cole, because clearly his parents are racist or racist adjacent. Something's going on. And even Raven with the white mama was like, something's wrong here. Because I think because she knows, she probably deals with that side and knows what that feels like. Yeah, something's off there. So I think Cole and Zanab are definitely gonna say, I think they're gonna say no because there's just too much working against them. On top of what Sean said about just the damage that Cole's done that can't be undone at this point. So
Oh, thank you both. Thank you both. Because now I remember the thoughts that I was having, like on Zidnab and Cole. I did like they scene at the bridge. That was a cute little time for them both. He played a little joke on her and things, and it went well. And I did appreciate that. It did seem like they were coming together for that moment. But what I did realize, and it gave me grace with Zanab, because at first it was just like, girl, you being over insecure, you're doing a lot of things, you're doing too much. But when I did with that wedding scene, when you do realize she lost both of her parents, she's been placed into a home that is a different culture from hers. She has a lot of things where it's just absent. And I know a lot of people that when they lose their parents kind of early, they go through that abandonment. They get abandonment issues. in a different way. So I feel like with her coming close to somebody else, she wants to do it, but I think she's afraid. And then with Cole being that he's saying, not giving that full 100% reassurance that I think she wants and probably needs because of it. And him having like saying like, okay, this is my desired type of woman. And on top of it, his family not being 100% behind him with this whole thing. I think that keeps giving her that pause. Every little time that they move forward, they start to do good and whatnot. But then I think she thinks about losing it all and starts to self-sabotage the relationship in a way. Because that's what I'd be getting out of it, that a lot of times she's just picking arguments and picking fights where that don't really need to be as major as they are, but they seem to grow a lot faster with her. And I think that is the reason, because of those issues from losing the parents so early, especially both. And the one secure thing she has is her guardian mother that she does have. But I think everything else for her is just not obtainable to a degree of saying this is stable in my life. I know it'll be here forever. And Cole doesn't give her that full reassurance that she needs to just say, yes, today, if today you're asking me today, yes, I would choose you. I think she's just waiting on that last minute gut feeling when she gets to the altar to say, yes, this is it. And I'm not totally mad because the family, like you said, C-Way, the family not totally backing him and she doesn't have that. That's another blow to her. Especially a person that gets in their head the way she does. That's a whole nother blow. It's just like, they don't accept me. Why would you accept me? You'll find something better in the long run. So she's not thinking right now in this moment. She's thinking long term. If I do this, would it be true to us both? Would you be staying with me just for despite your family, or would you really be loving me? What the thing? And I think that's always going to play in the back of her head, even if they do say yes. So I'm kind of like in a space where hopefully they make the right decision for themselves and both say no at the altar, unless he decides to really just like kind of divorce his family and make a full-time family just with her, solely with her. And he would have to surely make her secure. This is where I want to be. And I don't know if he can do that because he said what he said already. So
I hear that. Any more thoughts on this particular couples before I shift it to the next one? No? I know, I understand, man. I understand. All right, Matt and Colleen. Matt and Colleen, listen. The way Sean is on his head is what's even killing me the most. Sean, what are you saying, bro? Matt and Colleen.
Yeah, these two. It's so interesting that when they went to visit his parents, Mike's mama or Matt's mama, sorry, was so concerned about him being hurt, but it seems like he's the one that's going to do most of the damage. He seems to be very volatile, you know. And I don't know if he's fully healed from that situation. I get it that it was very traumatic. When even when you see him talk about it with his friends, and about how he's really only been to date Matt, right? Um, that still shows me that he's not quite over that situation because he's still gun shy. So to go from being like never getting past two dates to now getting to be ready to be married through the love is blind process, I don't know what these people be thinking, and I think Colleen, again, it's like sometimes people don't realize it's the little things that turn to bigger things, and she probably did a little bit too much entertaining um of that comment with Cole. And I think that kind of like just gave him all the ammunition he needed to go into his feelings and disappear and pack up his bags. It's like all that drama, like I'm packing my bags, and meanwhile he was so drunk that he forgot that they had a conversation and that he was invited out. It's like, what in the hell? It seemed like a crash of Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, Real World, all in one big reality show. It was just a lot. They got a lot going on. I don't know if they're gonna make it. I think like they need to, Matt still got work to do.
I'm hearing you strong, baby. Mm-hmm.
Matt
Between
is a
your
whole Matt is a whole
Ah,
another case. What happened? Matt is a whole nother case. Okay, we got to be careful with Batman. That I told you, he's borderline in that controlling aspect with him or whatnot, and his insecurity. So that Colleen needs to tippy toe her way, her ballet toe her way on up in that situation, because that for real is like scary to a degree because he is not fully healed from that relationship that left him at. I don't know, what did they get to the altar or whatever was it, they his last relationship, they was fiancé or whatever that was. He is not over that. And so everything she does is going to be a problem. Just like Sean said, he don't forgot that they had this whole conversation about him being voted, invited out or whatnot. So it's just like, bro, how are you getting this wasted that you're carrying on packing bags, ranting on like this, and you forgot this whole conversation? So you're kind of looking for an exit. This is another self-sabotager, and his reasons is less justifiable than Zanab's. Like, somebody broke your heart, so now you're going to like hurt everybody in your process because of it. Because you're trying to hold on to this woman, but you're so scared that she's going to do something. So you're blaming her for stuff before she even do it. And a lot of times when people do that in relationship, eventually that person goes out and do it because they feel like, oh, well, I'm already being punished for it, so I might as well do the crime or whatnot. And then that's going to end up justifying in his head that, oh, see, I knew she was going to do this, but it's like, dude, you're the reason why she did it. Like, and I'm not saying that's an excuse for anybody to go and cheat, but usually some people push people to that regards by these little type of passive aggressive things that you do. And you don't even notice that you're doing it. So it's like, dude, you might want to sit back, take your time. I don't even know why he came on this process. This is really not the place for him to be. Seriously, because I just don't think he's ready to be loved enough to even like give it back properly or allow himself to trust the process of love. So I don't know. And it was weird that, her and the mom had to talk and it was like, oh, you're a really nice girl. I really like you and stuff like that. And yes, I'm worried about my son, but it's like, worry about this girl because your son is a little off the cuckoo end when it comes to some things. Like the way he blew up with Bartise, it's kind of scary. Like, he's kind of scary, straight up. So, yeah.
Not gonna hold y'all. Colleen did the best thing she could have did by flirting with Cole and being a hot girl. Her being a hot girl has saved her life. Because if she wasn't being a flirt and being a sucker for attention, she wouldn't have known of Matt's shenanigans to after they got married. And I just feel like Matt, after he could say, "You're my wife, like I belong to you, belong to me" stuff, he's already acting like she's his property already. I can't imagine how he's going to act if she was actually legally bound to him. Yeah, no. And I'm not saying he doesn't have trauma. I'm not saying he doesn't have a right to be distrustful. I think going through what he went through makes it hard for you to trust anybody. But the fact of the matter is that like it was a dead giveaway with the conversations with his friends. His friends know what he's dealing with. They know that he's not 100% right. And they look afraid for Colleen, not gonna lie. Because they know it's like, I'm not saying he's a bad dude, but he's not ready. Coach, he's definitely one of the people who need to sit on the bench and heal. To the bench he needs to go and figure out how to process and place his pain and trauma and whatever he went through in his marriage. He needs to deal with it and place it aside somewhere where he can move forward, because it's not fair to burden every new person you're with what somebody else did. And if he saw something that was a red flag to him, he could have peacefully dealt with that better. But to carry on the way he carried on, no. So, yeah.
And in all fairness, though, Seaway too, they both need to go to the respectful corners because with all that she's seen already and with the friends have told her, she's still trying to get in the ring and fight with this man. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not fighting, like, not even say fight with this man, against this man, because he's pushing her away every chance he gets through his weird, crazy ways. And she's still trying to be like, well, I'll be okay. We'll work it out. We'll work through it and stuff. It's like, your hot girlness is not saving you all the way, because you still, part of you still wants to be attached to something so bad that you're ignoring this big red flag standing in front of you.
Jay, no, she doing what, you know how like people be joking about like how the preferences will act all docile till they get married to switch it up on you. That's all Colleen's doing. She very much so has seen all she needs to see, and she will say no to Matt. This is all like one of them like fake docile fronts.
Well, I hope it is, because I hope she do say no. But if she carries on and say yes, then she gonna be trying to have a hot girl, and okay, it's gonna be a hot mess.
I mean, I do actually kind of agree with Siwe, your earlier point about the fact that if if Matt hadn't showed those characteristics earlier on, she wouldn't have the evidence that she has. That being said, I have to admit, old girl here, Colleen, is a tricky one too. Because she too, with her sly little telling off half truths, I don't trust her either. But I definitely agree with the Matt situation that it feels like there's a kind of spillover from the whatever situation had with the X situation. Do you know what I mean? And so yeah, like literally, I felt like with him, there's a spillover, frustration. He saw a little bit of something that made him feel scared and insecure in that moment, and he just latched on it. She's obviously, Colleen's now seen that, but she too is wanting to stay and fight for this relationship. And I wonder if, his tendency to get insecure, her tendency to be insecure, her wanting to cling, him wanting the girl that's gonna cling. This is gonna end badly. Okay, this feels like it's gonna end badly. What are you saying, Sean?
Yeah, I was gonna say, just as you were talking, I think it's just so interesting, and we see it happen so many times in these different reality shows. It's like, if you don't heal from your trauma, you don't heal from the things, you're gonna keep running into it in some way, shape, or form. And it's just so interesting that Matt was cheated on and had this grave, situation that took place, and he's stuck in the situation again. It's like you're on repeat until you really deal with the issue, right? And it's as much as we joke and say sit on the bench and heal, it's so true that you got to do that work. And the work ain't talking to yourself. It's great to have self affirmations and try to get in tune with yourself. I think those are great things to do, but the work really means doing the work, identifying the issue, being accountable, understanding how, what, where, when, and why led up to the situation that you were in, right? It doesn't mean you bear the burden of whatever hurt was done to you, but you understand what your level of involvement is, because you're going to find yourself right back in it. Here he is in another very insecure situation where you are uncomfortable with, another man and your woman and what that's going to look like, Got to heal, bro. Definitely needs to heal and do some work, because it's going to keep showing up time and time again.
What you're saying, that Sean, like at the same time, he's being trying to over control the situation to protect himself in a way from that same hurt. Because that's given me, like, when I was just like letting people, and I'm not saying me, but like in that scenario when I just let people just do whatever in the first relationship, and now I learned that lesson. Now I'm trying to control it by doing the total opposite or whatnot, which is totally control the situation, which is ended in that same result that I was saying, that you push a person to do the same thing and you'll get that same result that you're saying that he'll end up with. You're getting that same result by doing the total opposite instead of, I feel like with these two, if they both go get individual counseling and couples counseling, the core of them that wants to be in a real relationship could work, but they both would need both counseling sessions. The one that's just for self, and the one that is for a relationship, you know. And I think that they will have potential. Now, if they're willing to do it, I have no clue. A lot of this show will actually do well with that, a segment of that being in there, like some type of couples counseling as well, or some type of individual counseling involved in this show, because this is like a real crazy experiment to try to find love in as well. So it's just like a little therapy will help everybody.
I think this is a good reason why I always say, when you get cheated on, or if you're in a situation where you're cheated on, if the first thing you go to is like, I'm a victim, this person is wrong, I'm right, and you either try to brush it under the rug, or you go straight to breakup without evaluating yourself and them, a lot of times you end up like Matt in this type of situation. And although from the way he told the story, it seems like he was kind of blindsided by her cheating, and then he never heard from her again after she said she was pregnant. So that may also be an issue, because I feel like he probably didn't get the closure that he wanted with the situation. Maybe he felt like maybe he didn't get the opportunity to ask the questions that he really need to ask. But I do think it's important, if you have that opportunity, to ask yourself some important questions, and maybe ask your partner. Even if you don't decide to stay with them, you may be able to figure out what you need to avoid and stay away from in the future, and also what maybe could have contributed to the downfall that led to that. But I think a lot of times it's easy to fall in like that. They're the villain, I'm the saint, and go from there. And it's like, and that's how people end up in 3, 4, 5, or 6 relationships, and they're cheated on in every single one of them. It's a thought. So yeah, April, he probably was crazy. He could have been, because for you to be a wife and you go out and you have a baby on your husband, I mean, unlike a lot of men, women don't tend to do that. I mean, not saying we don't, but it's a bit extreme for a woman to get pregnant while married with another man's baby. And even if that happens, usually the women want to stay with the husband, so they'll just lie and put the baby on you, But for her to be like, "Nah, this ain't your baby, and I'm leaving you," it's given extreme. Like, I wonder what the situation was.
Hear that? Any last thoughts on this particular couple, Matt and Colleen? No? Alright. Y'all be doing the bits. Alright, no worries. Okay. Alexa and Brennon. Whoa, what did I put? I don't know why I have that. But Alexa and Brennon, I want to hear your thoughts on this, because the brother is going to... that brother's going to be suffering, boy. Suffering. That boy's going to suffer. Who wants to go? Sean, you look like you're ready for this. You're fresh on watching this, so you're ready.
I got an opinion, and it might not be, nice, so God forgive me, but listen, Alexa, the parents be treating this girl like she is the second coming of Kim Kardashian. I don't know what, So Alexa is talking now. My Alexa started talking.
I was like, who is behind you, sir?
Alexa started talking. She had an opinion. Oh God, I gotta turn my Alexa off. But yeah, I don't get it. I mean, Brennon really likes her, so I think that's a great thing. I think let's celebrate that. Let's start there. And they seem to have a good connection, but this man has to go through so much to be with her. He wants, she's converting to Judaism, but did anybody peep how the parents said, we don't identify as Jewish, we identify as Israeli, but meanwhile he has to convert his religion to Judaism. What in the conundrum is that? So let's talk about that. So meanwhile, this brother is going to have to change his whole life around. The family is very judgmental. Matt's her father drives me nuts. He's like, oh, and we expected this and we expected that. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna leave that there. but it's like a lot. It's like he's marrying the queen, you know? So I just really, you know, think that it's a lot of hoops he's got to jump through. Then she started talking about the sex. You know, she was like, I told him I want to be tossed around and flipped around. It's a lot of flipping and a lot of tossing, but we're gonna leave that there too. And yeah, that's pretty much what I think about them.
Who's next to tussle? I'm definitely with you that, bro. Definitely with you that one. He's in trouble. That's what I'm gonna say. She gonna stretch him. If that boy ever goes broke, they're finished. See where Jay. What's your thoughts? See where, go for it.
I think a couple of things.
Oh, talk to us,
Positive,
sis.
positive first. I think Alexis and Alexis' family is the reason why fathers, you need to be involved in your daughter's lives, and how you can instill confidence and self-love, because Alexis is very confident. She has a lot of self-love, and I can see that because she has a powerful family unit behind her. And I saw that confidence before we met the family on TV, and now seeing the stock, as they would say, that she comes from, I see why she feels the way she feel, regardless of what we or anybody may think about her weight or anything. She is very, very confident. And I think even Brennon he was drawn to that confidence. And I think that's a testimony to the fact that, be confident, don't be delusional, but be confident. And fathers, be present in your family unit, in your daughter's lives, because I'm seeing that here. But on the flip side, though, to that, there's always a downside to that. I think Alexis is actually a little bit too confident, and I think she's really underestimating Brennan's fed upness with her kind of frustrating parent, father, and men in her life. And I think she's underestimating um Brennan's ability to get the hell up out of there. So, and that's also Brennan's fault by not communicating, not opening up his mouth, not speaking much about any grievances he may or may not have. Because we see in the previews that all of a sudden he's freaking out. I think that comes from being too much of a yes man and going along to get along, and then now the time has come and you have all these issues. He should have vocalized that. I've seen him just like, oh, you want me to be Jewish today? I'll be Jewish. You want me to do this? You want me to do that? You want me to jump? How high? He's doing a lot of that. Yeah, right, Deja. He's a people pleaser. And a lot of people pleasers do a lot of harm later, because when everything starts crumbling down, they're like, yeah, no, I don't really want this like that. Or, I woke up. I don't want this. And I don't really feel like that's fair to Alexis, because he hadn't communicated anything, and that's on you as a grown man to do. So, I mean, I don't know. I love Alexis' confidence, but I also feel like it may lead to her downfall, because I think you can't underestimate anybody. You can never underestimate anyone. And I think she's taken a lot of, his flexibility for granted, and I think we're just going to have to wait and see how that plays out.
Spoiler alert. I do know that these two actually do say they do to each other. So how long it worked, I don't know. I just feel like if Brennon can't somehow muster up enough to live up to her father, it's going to turn into a problem. Because it's this high standard, this high bar her father has set, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. I just don't know if he can live up to it. On top of it, I'm glad April had put it in the chat that daggone prenup. Like, you got to take care of me even if we get divorced and the kids buy me a house, all these things like that. Like, excuse me? Like, what? I hope they were playing for real about that. because I can see why he will be panicked in these upcoming scenes or whatever, because that is a lot to really think about. Like, if this really doesn't work, I still have to take care of you. Say what now? Like, daddy is really trying to pawn her off at this point. Daddy is not even trying to filter out a good match for her, a suitable match. Because if that was the case, it wouldn't just be like, oh, I trust her decision so much. Like, you will really be vetting this dude out if he actually can financially live up to what you're signing him up for. Like, you have provided your child with a beautiful lifestyle, and that's great and all, but can this man take that responsibility for the long haul? Is he mentally and physically equipped to do that work? And being a people pleaser, it's not really a good space to be in, to bring on this much load to yourself, especially if you don't already halfway have it. So they might last 1, 2, 3 good years of honeymoon phase, but after that, I don't really know what will happen as far as this couple goes. I mean, it's great that he loves her for her. He loves her personality and vice versa. But we know that finances is like one of the main reasons people get divorced. It is one of the main reasons why people start getting into arguments, and especially if the man in a traditional setting, and she looks like she comes from a traditional setting, if the man doesn't have it, it tends to become a problem because she wants to be kind of a stay-home person. So she wants to run the streets, hang out with her friends. And her friends is a lot. Her friends were a lot. I was like, they have just as big personalities as she do, and he doesn't really have that. So how would that work? Because she looks like the type that's going to want him to be around in her friend settings as well. So if that's going to be the case, I don't know how it's going to work for too long, because the friends might get annoying to him. But if he has his own little space that he can be in and just unwind to, yeah, like I say, 2, 3, 4 years, they can be in bliss. And then after that, he better have it together and be ready to move on with the job as far as taking care of her for life if it don't work out.
Thank you, Jay. Personally, I really do think like there's a, I don't want to say there's a power imbalance, but definitely she's more assertive, right? It can work if he's gonna be happily staying in that place, but she's more assertive and she wants him to make more money. I mean, well, take care of her. It's gonna be a techie situation. I'm just gonna say that straight. It's giving you're going to be controlled. It's giving you're going to be controlled very soon. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not even saying that she's necessarily controlling. I just think that she's met someone who is not as who's worshipping her. This guy it feels like almost like it's almost as if he wants to be in love with this girl for like she is a god to him. And I think that kind of energy that I saw from him, I was like, sir, you ain't going to last long if you have that energy. But nothing wrong with a man adoring his wife or loving his woman or whatever. Just don't let it go to the adoring, not the worship place where it feels like it's getting to with Brennon, that anything they say, even your friends will question him. They were questioning him. They were questioning, questioning whether you got this right. Are you sure, Brennan? Are you sure this is the right? You might be. And they were literally letting us know that, bro, sometimes you be rushing into things and you be getting excited about love and everything like that. They really were questioning him like proper hard. And I think that made me think, bro, you got a history. You got a history of that. So you might want to look into the fact that you may be easily led into situations. But, it's interesting. I do feel like they could be a good couple if he just, holds some good boundaries. She's probably always going to be the more assertive one in that relationship. I think that's just a natural disposition in comparison to him. But yeah, so long as he's not worshipping her, it can work. But if he goes into that worship space, yeah, he'd be divorced in a few years' time, crying on red pills, saying about how women are trash. But I need him to make sure he's got some good boundaries when it comes to Alexa. And the family unit is a very strong family unit. And I see where he said it's very important for any lady or any man to have that, because it just means as well some of the bullcrap that people normally go through, you can weed some of that out. You know, you can weed some of that stuff out. You see how he was sharpening the knives? That should let you know. Try it in my household and see what happens. That's what he's basically saying. Try it, see what happens. But this thing, the prenup that says about you gonna be taking care of my wife after my daughter after you divorce her, is where I was like, where are we going? I don't know if this is Jewish custom. I don't know if this is. I don't remember this being Jewish custom. So I don't know. Maybe I need to do more research on this. But I was shocked. What are you saying, Sean?
Yeah, no, he got to pay the bride price. That's what they doing to him. He's got to pay the bride price, you know, because he is getting the princess. He had the father, the grandfather, and the grandfather was kind of low slick, saying she's not pretty. She's prettier inside than she is outside, or vice versa. No, he said she's prettier outside than she is inside. So, that family, I don't know if that was one that I would want to be coming into. You know, I think, you know, I appreciated the fact that they said, you know, we've had money and we've not, but I think there's a lot of superficiality in that. You know, that part kind of, you know, they're focused on all the wrong. It's all financial, financial, financial. I didn't see a lot of talk about character. Um, you know, and I really enjoyed Brennan's family. I think, you know, yes, it was a little, you know, kind of like kooky and farmish, but they seem like just good natured, good people, you know. And I liked when the mom took Alexa and sat her to the side. So I think he does come from, as Seaway said, good stock as well. They may not be as financially well off, but I like the quality. You know, I like the quality of Brennan's family, and I just think there's a little bit more about the pomp and circumstance with her family. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with having nice things. Trust me, don't get me wrong. But I think if that's the whole focus, if it's all about that, to me, that's a little, you know, surface level.
And you, Corey, welcome to the show as well, brother. We're just talking about Alexa and Brennan. What's your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, so I think that the whole thing when just telling him that he has to take care of her and everything, I think that was really a test. I think it was a test to see just how much we get away with, you know, with asking you to do what is your response going to be? How are you going to handle it? So I think, you know, that's something he's got to pass, you know. Um, but I don't think he will. I think, like I was saying in the comments, I think that Alexa's really just waiting for Brennan to say I do, and she knows she has him in control. You know, I spoke about transfer of power. This is a situation where he does not want to be in when it comes to Alexa. Like the whole thing from the point where they met each other, she was very much in control of the relationship, and it's not going to be beneficial for him at all. So, you know, hopefully we see the outcome of that.
Thank you very much, Corey, on that. Appreciate that. All right, cool. Let's talk about it. Bartise and Nancy. Bartise and Nancy. I always spell the names wrong. You know I kill people's names on this show. Bartise and Nancy. They're at the verge of almost at the altar by the end, but they had some other conversations in between that time as well. Any takers on this? Who wants to go first for this Bartise and Nancy situation? Ha, Sean, I like Sean's promptness already today, boy.
I guess I'm the going first kind of guy today. So look, Bartise, Barista, Baptiste, whatever you want to call him, he gets on my nerves. He gets on my ever-loving nerves with that kid and play high top fade and his antics. He just aggravates, he just irks my soul. You know, and in the previous episodes, when he was like, "Oh, I'm not attracted to her," and it's just his voice, it just grinds my gears. It's like, I'm not attracted to Nancy anymore. You know, I fell out of, you know, I don't, my attraction is just not the same. I don't, you know, I don't want to even have to fake it. You know, it's like, bro, come on. Like, were you ever really attracted to her? Meanwhile, um, You know, he was over here talking about, well, you know, Raven is kind of like more of my type. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really more like the kind of girl that I'd be with. It's like, then don't be with her. Don't be with her, bro. You know, and that's what I think. Let's like, it's like, if she's not your type, don't make accommodations. Don't tell her. And then meanwhile, he gonna run and tell her. He gonna tell her that, you're not really my type. It's like, bro, he just aggravates the living daylights out of me. He's going to make this woman jump through all types of hoops. It's like, if you don't want her, then don't talk to her. Like Fantasia say, send her back. Send her back. Like, don't put this woman through all these, this is like mental gymnastics that she has to play to try to get a hug from him. And it's the funniest part, and Janine TV said it, right? He's busy telling her in the pods, oh, just because I'm 25, I've dated older women before. I've dated older women, and, I really am mature. No, bro, your cerebral cortex is not developed, right? And it's showing, because he ain't ready for marriage to nobody, let alone trying to play around with Nancy. And I'm not, again, just because I'm on him don't mean I think she's perfect. She got a lot with her too, as Seaway would say. She got a lot to her. She definitely got a lot to her. But him, it's just the flip-flopping, it's playing with, I like you, I don't like you, I'm attracted to you, so I'm going to withhold affection. That is pure manipulation, and I can't stand it. And I'm going to let somebody else talk about what happens on decision day. Well, we don't see the full, we'll know Wednesday, but that too was just toxic at its best.
Yeah, I'm like Sean said, Nancy got a lot to her. There's Nancy is giving more red flags. She's giving Mr. Sampson on episode like 3. There's definitely some off with her. And I say that because Bartise is the easy target. He's 25, like somebody said. Yeah, like Benita said, 25 going on 21. Really 25 going on 16. The producers trying to give him a comeback kid story, and nobody is buying it. We got all that. He's definitely childish. I mean, I really can't even hate him, because at this point I'm like, you're just childish. You're just not ready for love. I'm sure in 10 years, if he matures, he'll be a lot better. But Nancy, something that stood out to me was when Beatrice gonna say, Nancy, when they weren't speaking, still was trying to jump his bones, whatever. And I said, and I was like, so Nancy, you trying to act all like a put together speech pathologist, but your whole relationship is on a one-way trip to absolutely nowhere, and you're still worried about trying to get it on with Beatrice. That to me was very, very odd. Like, it doesn't seem like Nancy is just a ball of inconsistencies. Like, she seems like she's so transparent. Then she got her baby daddy ex-boyfriend on all the mortgages. She seems like she wants all this seriousness in a serious relationship. Yet instead of like focusing on rebuilding that, she's just kind of focused on the physical aspect with Bartise. And he's the one who had to say, like, no, we're not at that point right now. Something's off. And I'm going to say that something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's really wrong with Nancy. So.
Yeah. So, for me, I'm gonna pick at Bartise. I'm going to choose Bartise on this one, because oftentimes, with him, he did not have a problem with Nancy until he saw Raven. And oftentimes, something that men do. We have to hold ourselves accountable for that. You see something that's pretty and shiny, you forget just how good what you have is. And that's exactly what he's doing. Now, he went to Raven, he told Raven how he felt. Raven said, appreciate it, but I'm not interested. There's no chance. right? So when she said that to him, he still took that as he got a shot. And that's something we do as men. We're not in a particular position with a woman that we think we are. Like we'll think we're getting good. We think, hey, we're getting closer. She really likes me. And she told this man, I'm not interested in you. The only reason why he's telling Nancy all of this is because he thinks he has a legit shot with Raven. He still, to this day, probably thinks he has a legit shot with Raven. And I don't understand where it's coming from. And his immaturity in the discussion he's having with her about another woman, that's just something Miss Men don't do. You know, it's one way of being honest and transparent with your partner, but that the whole situation where everything was set up is too soon for that. And it's okay to find someone else attractive. That's cool. You're human, right? But at the same time, you don't sit there and tell your soon-to-be wife that someone else is more of your speed physically. That's a slap in the face. Truly, that's a slap in the face. And Bartese, he's being immature. He's 25. He's definitely doing it because he needs to have someone to sit down and talk to him about the birds and bees or something. Because to me, it's just he's going back that far as disrespect, as far as his idea of being transparent is just all wrong at the wrong time. And he needs some guidance in that area before he even thinks about getting married.
The less said about these, the less said about these two, the better. No jokes, but no, for real. With Bartise and Nancy, I'll be honest. I think with them two, is it Bartise, isn't it? I'll be mentioning his name.
Yeah, it's Bartese. I mean,
Bartise,
we
right?
joke and jack it up, but it's Bartese.
Okay. I don't want to mess up no one's name. But yeah, with Bartise and Nancy, I think age is going to show here eventually as well. In terms of probably a little bit later on down the line, it's a 6-year gap with the young man and the older woman. It's gonna be it's gonna show and tell very soon, I think. But in reality, with these two, he's met her family. The conversation about the weight situation was crazy earlier on as well. And obviously they met each other's families. That was slightly earlier on as well. I think he got a better idea of what he's going to be facing when he takes on Nancy. My only thing with these two is I really think there could be a compatibility issue. And I said this like on the last live that we did, which is, for instance, when they're talking about even, the deletion of children, that's a compatibility issue. Like if I completely disagree and you agree, it's compatibility issue. People will die over this subject. So it's like I'm not trusting that these two are gonna be in the right place, for this particular situation. So if I'm honest, I'm not the biggest fan of them two. But hey, if they love it, I like it. You know what I mean? Any other thoughts to this?
Yeah, I
Go for it,
just
Sean.
just circling back to it, I really kind of just think like this is why it's, certain conversations. I mean, I'm still a little about the whole, baby, what to do and how to decide with that. I think it's a very tricky and nuanced situation, but it just shows me like if you like somebody, if you really care about them, you're going to cover them. And that showed us enough to know. And I know you guys talked about it in the previous live, but now it shows back again. He really isn't into her because he didn't cover her. He exposed her to his parents before they could really have that conversation and get it nailed down to himself, with themselves. Him and his sister were able to, talk through it later on in the most recent episodes and kind of get on the same page. But even the sister is kind of like, telling him nothing's going to be perfect in a marriage. What? It's like, bro, he's just a slightly delusional to me. I think he's slightly delusional. And I just feel like she shouldn't be hanging on for his scraps. She should have that attitude similar to what we say, like when we be like, if you don't want me, if you think this better, if you think Raven, you got a shot with her, shoot your shot till you can't shoot it no more. Because you don't need to rap back to me like, you doing me a favor by sitting around here, You get what I'm saying? Like, set him free to do whatever he wants to do in Bartise all around town and talk his talk, and leave her be. Like, I think she needs that self-confidence to just be like, nah, bro, I'm good on you. You feel like you got to withhold affection because you second guessing me, and you don't, you wanted me 2 minutes ago, but now you don't want me now. Oh, but now you're back all the way in. It's like, nah, bro, go on and go get Raven. See how that works out for you. Like, I think he just needs to be set free. Nancy needs to be set free. I think it seems like she got more in common and more entanglements with her ex, with all those real estate properties and their portfolio they got going on. So I think perhaps she might want to circle the block there.
You know what? I just want to touch on the fact of the nerve of Bartise when he saw her talking with Andrew. He got so flustered and so upset because they were having a conversation. You're not showing her any interest. You tell her she's not attractive, and then just the mere fact of having a conversation with another man, you feel threatened. He was like a little kid the way he was getting flustered, and he's about to lose it over a conversation. So yeah, he has a long way to go to me, man. For relationships, let alone marriage, he has a long way to go. So,
Corey, that is a great point. I almost forgot about that scene, right? Where he was like, is there something I need to be concerned about here? Is like everything okay? Bro, sit your old racer head down, bro. Sit down somewhere. Oh, now you concerned? Now you interested about what she was talking to? Meanwhile, she's there. That whole conversation was hella awkward, though. I ain't gonna lie. Because, he walked over, Nancy was in tears, Andrew's looking like Andrew, and they're like, well, everything's okay. We're just talking. No, you were not just talking, Andrew. You were not.
Andrew was plotting.
Yeah, exactly. Andrew was like, yo, shorty swing my way.
Do you have any regrets? No any regrets at all? Would you do anything differently? Like, bruh, how many signs can you drop? She's not picking it up, bro. Let it go.
I'm hearing you guys loud and clear, baby. Have everyone spoken on this particular topic? I think everyone has.
I don't know. Sure. Is Jay back? Because I know she left. I don't know if she's back.
I know, yeah. She's
in the words of Jay-Z Hook, what more can I say?
What more can I say? I actually thought she was going to say some more.
Now I'm taking a route of Mike tonight. I'm just going to say less. Less is best. When the lights come on. No, okay, let me stop. All right.
Oh shoot. Oh gracious, maybe it's too early.
That's what they really want us to talk about is that Mike debut. We're like, y'all talk about everything but what we want to talk about.
No, one of the subscribers already done gave them a word of correction. They're gonna give you a word of correction and then do nothing else.
I was like, hey, I gotta take it.
What happened?
Kojo.
I was like, I gotta take it, innit? If it happens, it happens, innit? If you're wrong, you're wrong. You take it, you move on, innit? Do you know what I mean? I'm all apologied out, so I got my apology
tomorrow. But for tomorrow, Kojo.
There is still tomorrow. There is still tomorrow. It could go wrong tomorrow. It could get worse.
We're like a real family. We don't always say everything we say, but we try to hold each other accountable. What people decide to do with that accountability is on them. And
let the church say amen.
And that's
you
all
ain't seen it, Corey.
Really do.
We'll catch you up after the live. Corey.
Okay. All right.
Oh wait,
While you was in karaoke.
So what?
Corey, you need to log off of this live. What you need to do, you wasting your time because you got about 2 hours that you need to
Not you need to log off of
Tell the
this
key it's only
live.
half. It's only half an
Don't pay
hour.
Seaway no attention. She being.
It's only
funny,
half an
Corey.
hour. It's 40. It's 30. 35 minutes. You won't be
We'll
all
catch
right.
you up, bro. We'll catch you
We'll
up
catch
on
you
all
up.
the drama across the YouTube streets and the
Okay, cool.
God, how you gonna catch anybody up? You got the last. You call up.
Right. Even there,
Well, I got enough to catch him up. He don't need the full 2-hour download. 5 minutes.
All right, cool.
Whilst I sip my real tea, while some cold iced tea was being delivered in one of the other lives.
Child, that was unsweetened tea.
You need to know.
No ice. No ice.
Stale. It was stale
Diet,
leaf, right?
diet unsweet tea.
David, do not watch. No, you know what? Actually, for Kojo's sake, watch it. But when you get
I'll watch
annoyed
it.
with it, then just put it on mute and keep
watch
it going.
Put it in the background
watch
for until maybe
Yeah.
the last hour.
Watch
Then
it and
you
put a
do it.
comment on there.
Yeah. Watch it and put a comment, but it's gonna stress you out. I'm gonna warn you.
It's gonna stress you out. It's the most stressful one you ever seen.
It stressed Kojo out and then led him to destruction. Samson is the reason why.
Live in the road of madness after yesterday, and then today I said, I can.
Samson has stressed our man's Kojo straight the
I
F
said,
out.
he would get on my nerves saying about my shaking my ass. I shook my ass over in the wrong place.
God, I can't come through quick enough, huh?
No, all jokes aside. But yeah, sorry, SK Raven. I know Corey looking lost because obviously the jokes we're making. But SK Raven, guys, what's your thoughts, man? SK and Raven. This is the one that people have been waiting for. SK and the Ravens.
Is that's it? This is the last couple?
Yeah, B. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I think we got everybody.
Yeah, he did Cole's
That was it.
Zanab, Matt, Colleen. Yeah. And then yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, that's it. Alexa, Brennon, and Nancy. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Wow, we've gone through it really quick.
I'll go last or second to last on this. I got thoughts.
You must go first, anyway. Shit, are you gonna be okay going first? Maybe not me. Oh shit, I don't want to be done out here for not being consensual. So you sure you're gonna be okay with that? You gonna go first? Or?
Look, I'm gonna practice my feminist.
Hey, I don't
I'm
push you
gonna
beyond
let
the time.
the men's panel go first, so let y'all go first.
We want to hear what y'all got to say. We want to hear y'all.
We need to hold the women accountable on this panel. I'm going to set straight.
We are listening. We want to hear the men.
We want to hear y'all. Y'all spent a whole 2 hours talking to us about what we need to do. So look, we trying to listen, okay?
Well, he's telling you, if you were listening, that he wants you to go first, but
No.
you are not submitting and going first. You just nicely say no.
Do what you're told.
See, didn't we talk about how this tone was, Sean? Why are you doing like this? Where's this coming from, Sean? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, go on to sleep now.
Come on now. Come on. See, and now you're telling me what to do, Sean. God, you're not even my man.
Oh,
on,
gracious.
I ain't got to be your man to tell you to go to bed.
See that? Yeah, you got to be my daddy, or
God
you got to be my
damn.
daddy or my daddy, and you're neither. So that's the only way I'm going to bed.
Okay.
All right,
You have
kids.
a choice.
All right, kids. Who's gonna go first?
Not another tussle. See what I told you? It's all.
All right, kids. Who's going first? Who's going first?
let
SK
me
Raven.
Let me just go. Let me
appreciate you,
submit. Okay. Here's the thing. I ain't letting y'all down with this. I need Sing Pray Love in the chat. I don't see her, so we need to summon her. But wait, did I just see her? No, I didn't. Here's the thing, and I don't know if this is just editing. I don't know what it is, but and I will credit some of the subscribers for saying they didn't trust SK from the beginning. Shout out to y'all. Y'all called it. SK disappointed everybody. Not for his decision. But how he went about it. I don't think there's anybody who really faults SK for having questions, apprehension, faults with Raven. But what I don't respect is sneak attacks. And I feel like that's what it is. He had multiple conversations with Raven, and the only thing that he ever said was my fam that we saw. Okay, that we saw. And I'm gonna go on and go out on a limb and say I don't believe he's had those conversations, because she was very, very shocked at that altar. Only thing that he ever said was, my family is a little concerned that your family present isn't here. And when she kind of responded, I think she was a bit triggered because I think she too was very sensitive about the fact that her family wasn't there to support her. He responds, I'm here for you, queen. It's me and you against the world, pretty much, right? Then when he gets down to that altar, now all of a sudden he's concerned about her not wanting to move. He's concerned about her family. He's concerned. He has all these concerns. I don't respect that in any characteristic, in any type of relationship that I have. I feel like people like Raven get a bad rap because they're transparent. They may be very obnoxious in some of their behavior, but at least you're going to see them coming. And for me personally, I will pick the person I see coming over a person who snakes me every single time. SK act like he had it all together. He loved Raven. She was the perfect wife. I know you're not the perfect wife, but you're the perfect one for me. I know you're not super gentle and affectionate like everybody else, but you're the perfect one for me. Whole time you have an issue with her not being gentle and submissive and submitting to following you to California, even though you know she has a business that she cannot leave. And you knew that from the beginning, right? You knew she has a whole business as a Pilates instructor. She needs to be there in person. And you knew that you took your black behind on this television show when you had to move to California. That's completely ridiculous. SK shouldn't have been on the show to begin with, but you're here. And it's like Raven really did, I believe, even though she was a little ignorant to me with her, she seemed like she's never met a Nigerian before in her life, her friends. But I still feel like she really tried. I feel like she leaned into, getting to know his mother. I feel like his mother genuinely bonded with her. I think they really had a genuine connection, and I think she really, really tried. How many women would wear another person's culture for their wedding dress, or as part of their wedding dress? How many women would cover their hair as a part of a tradition to honor your tradition? Many people wouldn't unless that was part of their culture. I thought that said a lot, for her to do that compromise, and I feel like he snaked her. And yeah, so I just want to put all that out there because I don't want nobody saying, oh, Raven had issues and he had a right to say no. Not arguing with that. But everybody else, if they say no on decision day, outside of maybe Brennon, we knew we could see it coming. SK straight snaked her like that girl season 1 snaked that nice man who ended up doing the speech. It was like, oh, sorry, guys, thanks for coming out. I forgot. She was a white girl. I forgot her name. But like, yeah, he snaked her, and I don't appreciate that.
I hear you, Seaway. I definitely hear you. I do feel like he did ride the whole yes man to the end. And you know what? I'm gonna say this. I think we just need to understand how sometimes men get to the decisions they do. I think he can be held accountable, but I think sometimes we got to also give grace to these men, because how he got to that point, we should consider his whole story before we hold him accountable. I'm being facetious and I'm being a bit petty, but reality is, I'll be honest with you. Look, I agree. I don't like the fact he got all the way to the end and then said no. For me, it don't make no sense. Why are you yesing all the way and not saying no? Now, I can also offer an alternative. Maybe he's a bit of a people pleaser. It was too much pressure in between the time. He really should have just said yes. He really should have said no. From way jump, you know what I mean? And to get all the way to the altar aspect, I'm really hoping that, I was really hoping that maybe this is a joint thing that they discussed behind the scenes, and then it got to the point of the altar. I don't think it was, but yeah, he this is what happens when you mess with yes men. That's what I'm gonna say. It's what happens when you mess with yes men. These guys will say yes. He's a nice guy. That is what I see SK as. He's a nice guy. Inability to really say what he really felt and push back, because culture was a big thing for him. It was definitely a big thing for him, because you had your mom, you had your auntie, you had I don't know if it's a sister, whatever, was talking to her and saying, that you felt like culture's a big thing to you, and she'd have stew ready and this ready and that ready. And so I think to myself, like, SK, if you didn't want to go forward with it, why would you go all the way to this process to the end? You know what I mean? Like, why wait to that point? Broskies. Anyway, I mean, I personally knew that he shouldn't have picked her from the very beginning anyway. So, you know, it is what it is. But I definitely agree. I think he did play a little bit, you know. That's what happens when you mess with these yes men. I don't play with those people. Yes. One of the boys. Would you like to go?
Okay, I guess that's my cue. Yeah, so I really do honestly think that SK was just collecting information. And I really honestly think that Raven got the decision that she wanted. Raven got what she wanted. Because to me, it seemed like she went out of her way to complain. There was absolutely zero compromise from her. She didn't compromise on anything. She wanted things her way. She was disrespectful in certain essence when it came to his culture. There was something that was laying on the table that we use this to bless the house. She picked it up, started playing with it, started swishing around with it. I'm like, yo, you did being disrespectful right now. So it was things she said, things she did. She pushed him away. From the moment she saw him, that was the plan. And contrary to what anyone else thinks, I do think that she was going to say no. I do think she was going to say no. She did put the garment on. She put the gown on out of a respect for his culture. That's cool that she did that, but the outcome was still the same. Look at everyone's response. When he said no, did the bridesmaids seem shocked? Did the bridesmaids seem upset at the fact that he said no? They already knew that she was going to say no. So to me, I think that yes, SK could have gone about it the right way and told her sooner and not wait to the wedding. I get that, I understand that, but let's not lose sight of the fact that we're watching a reality show. You know, if he had done that sooner, it wouldn't be a big wow factor. So they're going to have him hold that off. He probably wanted to say something. Who knows? Producer probably told him, "Hey, wait until the wedding. Wait until the wedding." Who knows? But I do know that he was collecting information. The fact she said that she wanted him to pay her bills while he was in school was big. The fact that, you know, she didn't want to get close to him, to get, you know, kiss or anything like that. She, like he said, they were apart the whole time. There was no source of intimacy, not sex, but intimacy during the course of their time together. And she wanted to wait until marriage and this, but she didn't say that in the pods. I didn't hear her say that in the pods. So she's making up these new rules and everything now that she's seen him. Now she's really not attracted to him in the beginning. I'm just being honest. She's not attracted to him. Her friends were not attracted to him. Oh, I wasn't expecting you to look this way, or I was expecting something else. That's not cool. That's not cool to verbalize that to somebody. Say, oh, I thought you would look different. In what way? What do you mean by that? You know, it's pretty disrespectful. And she didn't do anything to stop her friends from saying that. But she internalized, she took it in. And she had that to be a part of her whole cycle of I'm gonna sabotage this. I'm not going to compromise here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. You know, the women were telling her, you know, humble yourself, still respect this man. You know, she was listening. She was like, I don't know what to tell you, but that's not me. And I get it. I can respect that. But at the same time, she was pushing him away the whole time. So to me, I think SK was wrong for holding on to the information so long and then waiting to the end to the wedding. And I also think she was wrong for pushing him away instead of being honest with him and saying, hey, I know we weren't supposed to be focused on looks, but really you're not my type. You know, really you're not. Now he put the moves on her. Now he put that Scorpio touch on her. Now we did that little crease, the little exercise in a crease there. That's a Scorpio touch. That's a hidden message right there. There's a hidden gem. But he did that, and she started turning around. You know, started, you know, had a little bit of intimacy, making out in the pool, and all that stuff. I don't know if that was for sure or not. But what I do know is that she has some part to play in this. She's not free and clear. Raven is far from in this whole situation. That's it.
What's the crease, Corey?
Oh man, you didn't see him when he got right here. That's a Scorpio move right there with the thumbs right there.
Oh, I
Yeah.
missed that. I
Oh
need to
yeah,
add that to my
he got right
my
into
repertoire. I didn't know about that crease.
yeah,
Okay.
man. Yeah. It's called the Stinger's Touch. It's a Scorpio thing.
Oh, shucks. That's new information to add
Negro,
that to
what?
my Scorpio
Look,
list.
we'll talk about
Seaway
it
J,
live.
what is that? Does that resonate with y'all? The crease? Do y'all like that?
I don't think I've ever been with no Scorpio.
Well,
That's
not about
unfortunate.
that, Seaway, but
That's
the crease, just the massage in the crease of your neck.
I don't know nothing about that.
Man said that's the Scorpio touch. I said I never.
What
heard
about
that.
Maybe-
Jay? That was
Maybe
that
you
a
might
good
be with no
massage
Scorpio.
technique?
That's the problem, I guess.
That
If you
is a
massage me that high, you're friends.
no, he was not. It wasn't that high. He was the right there at the
If you're massaging me that
Mhm.
high, we are friends. Because you
I
don't
mean-
know me. That means you don't know me because you would know where to massage me. If
That
you are
high,
more
Jay.
than friends, we are friends.
That was a bit. That was a bit.
I
think that was
I am weak. You know what, Corey?
You know, Jay, I like
That
what
was
you're
a low for
saying.
me.
So where should we go? The crease of your back?
No,
You getting there. You going to the creases that where you need to
Right
go.
now,
You
that's
getting to the
all.
creases where you need
That's
to
the
be.
crease. That's the crease I like to be in. But
This
you
is a
know, listen,
Christian-
I'm open
on,
to
Jay.
learning some new stuff. You know, so maybe for the right woman, the crease of the
That's
crease
it
in the
right there.
clavicle.
Right there.
can
Kojo
do
got it.
something.
Kojo
But-
got
Yeah,
it.
Jojo got it, but see, you forgetting. I'm lacking in some areas. Y'all gonna make me feel like you feeling from the muscles or something like there. Like don't do me like that.
Cut
Don't do
it
me.
out.
Don't do
Cut
me.
it out. A handful is sufficient. You know.
Y'all talk. Wait, Corey, you talk about the shoulder blade crease or which
No,
crease?
it wasn't a shoulder. It was right inside of the
Kojo,
betwixt.
I'm gonna need you to pull that turtleneck up off your face like that. You look crazy.
He look like a dude on Fat Albert. Gotta get all Fat Albert. What is it? I forget what his name was. We got all Fat Albert. But yes, I also understand the fact that okay, they have cameras there. She's fully clothed. That's where he can go at that time. You know what I mean? So, with all due respect to the situation on the show, that he had to use the tools that he had available. And that's what it was. We'll talk more about that, behind the scenes. But yeah, we want to also talk more about your areas too, because I'm very curious. I want to take some notes down about that too, Jay. So I appreciate that.
My milkshake bring little boys to the yard in their life.
Who's next? Jay, you want to go or you want me to go?
Go ahead, Sean.
Okay. So listen, I mean, to me, it's SK for the win. Because y'all know what I'm going to say. Well, if you don't, I'm going to tell you. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. And she ain't want it from the beginning. She talked about he wasn't her type. So look, I don't think she was that into him. I think she talked herself into it. And then once she got into it, then, she had all these things. I think her friends were rude. And I'm sorry, birds of a feather flock together. So, yep, Deja, City Boys up. I love it. It's SK for the win. I am Numa. I'm a city boy at heart.
Y'all are really toxic.
So I love the way he delivered it, with cool, calm, and collection. But I think she really did not want him. I think in her mind it was settling all the way. I do think there were some signs to show that really SK was, came to this process with not all his things together, with knowing he was going off to grad school in another part of the country. I think like that was kind of like, not a good setup to get married, but listen, she was close to, moving. Look, I guess has a business, as a Pilates instructor, but listen, I think Pilates is very big in California, and depending on what part of California he was going to, the major cities, they, the celebrities and the clientele out there in California is probably a lot larger than it is in Texas. I think they're in Dallas, right? You know, wherever they were in Dallas or Houston, whichever major city it was. But, you know, it could have been entertained as an option, right? Not to say all the way, but I'm saying like at least to be somewhat open to the process if she really was in love with him. But I will give her credit that she did not entertain Barista when he came to her with his foolishness. So I would say that's maybe a point for her that maybe she was somewhat starting to be into him, but I did not, you know, I wasn't buying it. I felt like a little like disingenuousness from her when she was entertaining the culture. You know, and SK's mama, I love what the mama had to say. She was like, you have to humble yourself, you know, and let the man be the man. I loved it. I was here for his mama. She gave some great sage wisdom and advice, but I don't think Raven was here for it. She was like, humble where, humble who, humble what? Look at me. So, you know, SK did what he needed to do. You know, and this is the premise of the show. Look, we make the decision on vow renewal, vow decision day, whatever day we want to call it. But, you know, he told her at the altar. And from what I understand, I think he said, you know, we will still continue this process. So we'll see more and more down the line. But I think that they continue, you know, to see each other. And she hugged him. She hugged him at the altar and was like, you know, just give me a hug. I understand.
Not them vouching for dishonesty.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Like that is beyond to me. Like
Shine, if you like what the mama say, go marry the mama. No, just playing. No.
like it's one thing to understand SK's concerns. It's another thing for vouching for being a snake in the grass. I don't understand that.
That's my point. That's where I'm getting at. We've all been on Raven's head since day one, since we started these lives, since we talked about it or whatever. We've been on her head. You know, I'm one who said that was second choice for her or whatnot from the jump. Yes, agree. But she has been communicating, regardless if we agree with what she's communicating to this man or whatnot and stuff like that. She has been upfront and having communication with them. Like Seaway said earlier, you sat on the couch with this woman. You talked about your family and how much that means to you, but then you reassured her in that moment, that same breath, telling her, but it's me and you. So you basically lied in this woman's face. You could have just sat there and said, you know what? Family is a big thing for me. My family is going to be there. And it would be more of an honor if your family, because especially in a Nigerian tradition, they expect both families to be at the wedding. That's a big thing for them. That's showing unity on both parts. And so for him, he could have easily expressed, I know that it's a lot, you're taking on a lot of my traditions, because they are very strong and they mean a lot to me, but it also means something to you. And I can see it, that your family needs to be there. And even if this is what Corey says, that they have to get to the altar and do it, it wasn't even that part that he made his decision at the altar, because I do understand production, they got to do a show or whatever and stuff. But it was the way that he let her go off by herself while he sat there and got undressed. And it was his mom that went and comforted her. So that's where it started to be a problem for me, because it's like, even if you guys move forward just to say, you know what, let's continue this as a relationship. And I would have loved for him to say that. And it could have been edited. He could have said it in that moment. Let's have a relationship. Let's work on this some more, you know, as I'm in school and you doing your thing. And we just develop this relationship going forward or whatnot. If that's what you want to do, that's great. We both can do it. But you did not go and check on this woman afterwards, for at least what we seen. You were sitting there taking off your whole line of garment and all these things like that. And that was your only concern about anything in that.
Or her raggedy behind bridesmaids, Jay.
Yeah, them heifers was nothing. But, you know, they didn't want her to be married to him anyway, because they want to run her life. Point blank, period. They don't want her to be happier than them. Point blank, period. Exactly. Or whatnot. Some of us got friends that are like that in our lives. They want you to be just as miserable with them, go out with them, and don't have something going on for yourself. Please don't. So it was just like, as much as we don't care for her behavior and things, we don't care that she didn't like this. And once again, I know y'all like to keep saying it, women don't always just like you for attraction that is physical, that's your presence. I'm sorry that you guys don't like hearing this, but it's the truth. There are other things that we do start to like you for. And it does grow. So I did see some growth from her, that she did let herself open up, especially after she seen Bartise and he did all his shenanigans and stuff. Because I think that was the last thing of holding her guarded. Because after that, she really started to let SK in. But that was really rude of him not to even just have a real sit down. And I would have loved that better or whatnot, being that they going forward with the relationship. From one of the little things I hear in the background, they still kind of going in the relationship. But like I said, it could have been edited and we might not have seen it, but it was just the delivery of everything after the, this is not for me.
You know what? I hear what you're saying, Jay, and I think the fellas actually hear what you're saying too. And I don't want to speak for them, but I just think we all understand the fact of being that there are relationships that women get into, that they have to grow into that love for them, or they have to grow into that interest or to that like. We understand that. I understand that, but I don't want you growing to like me. I want you to like me as I am. I don't want you to, find one small thing about me that you do like and just say, okay, we're going to grow from here. That's not the ideal position that a man would want to be in. Just being honest about that. I understand that's how a lot of women do work. And with all due respect to that, for men, we don't want you to grow to like us. And if he's feeling that, which I'm sure he did, if he had two eyes that could see, he can tell that she was just not into him from the jump. And that probably was a problem for him as well. Along with everything else, her, being disrespectful to certain traditions, not being on board with certain things, not humbling herself the way his mom and his family was saying. It could have been a lot of things that were going through his head. And not to make excuses for him, but people process things differently. So as you have an option to process things in a way where you want to give someone space, you have a way you can process things by going to that person and just trying to fix it immediately. And for us as men, I know that there are times that we don't know what to do in certain situations. With high stress situations, if we don't know our partner enough, we don't know if we need to go and comfort her immediately or give her space to process. So because we don't know that, we don't always make the right decisions when they come in that area. So I get what you're saying. And I appreciate you saying that, Jay, that you would have preferred him to just go straight to her and, make sure she was comforted and not, you kind of ease the embarrassment a little bit. That does make sense to me. But at the same time, sometimes we, as men, we don't always get that right because we don't know, we can't read the situation appropriately.
One, you can't know if you don't ask. So if you never go to her and she shoo you away, then how would you ever know? That's one way to learn your partner, just by simply asking, hey, you okay?
Yes, you make a very good point. And you can say that, but we don't know what the edit. You may mention the
edit. I mentioned it. He could have gave a better speech then, and we just got a watered down version of it.
Right.
I don't know, because she did hug him. And to go back to this attraction thing that y'all keep going on and on again, we've heard you or whatnot, but that's the thing. You keep saying this one little thing. That's the one little thing that you guys are holding on. There's a whole bunch of other things that we keep saying we find you attractive for. Our value in men is not in the beauty. That's y'all value. And I get why you guys are so strong on it, because that's what you guys hold valuable. But what we hold valuable about you guys is not your looks. That's an added bonus to you. But there's other things. I told you several times before when I said, fine man can walk up to you, but as soon as he opened his mouth, he's not fine anymore. It's the things that you guys say, the way that you carry yourself, the attitude that you have, the way you present yourself, the protection of it all that you appear to be to us. That's what we see about you.
And Jay, we hear that, I think, but the issue is...
You say a but after.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but the problem that I think
But
we're missing each other, yeah, it is a but because I don't agree. So the part I don't agree with is the fact that she has made it very plain that she is not attracted to him. So it's not that she has said at some point, oh, I grew an attraction to him after the fact. She has made it very clear that he is not her normal type, meaning that there is a type of man that she is attracted to and has the ability to have that connection with. He just happens to not be it. So that's what the men and us are continue to say. It's like it's one thing to say your attraction can grow, and we understand that. But if you make it plain to me that I am not your type, but you are making a choice to try to see where this goes, that does not sound good and or feel good. And that's where we know it is possible for you to see somebody and be attracted to them. It is possible for you to be in a relationship with someone that you are physically attracted to at the very early onset. So I think that's what we're seeing in this same scenario, and it comes out in her actions, right? Because in the very beginning, when they're out of the pods, she's not very affectionate with him. She's not very open to him because she's trying to process and work through somebody that she initially wasn't physically attracted to. And that's the part that we just don't like.
Boy, interesting stuff out here, kids. Both sides are interested out here because I love this. Do
But
you know what? I would say though. What I would say is for both parties. I'm just literally behind the scenes. I was literally watching it, reading an interview, um, and it did say that Raven said she was shocked by SK's decision not to say "I do." Right. So I think where I'm going to hold two sides, which is I can take what the women are saying and saying that, you know what, he could have given her a heads up. You know what I mean? Like, bro, running through the whole situation to get to the D-Day and then dropping it as if that's your enemy. I can understand from last season when it was Mallory and Old Boy, because Old Boy was trying to get her back, right? So he ain't gonna let her know, right? But I think in this situation, SK has been saying that, this he doesn't mind, he doesn't mind, he doesn't mind, he doesn't mind, he doesn't mind. She's perfect for me, and I highlighted this in my review. I said, yeah, cause he's doing too much with this. She's perfect for me. It's bullcrap, right? But if you don't let her know that, you've left her in a situation where now she didn't know that and gets to D-Day and you said no. Now I know that's part of the show, so I can understand that. Where I also hold with the boys also, I'll be honest with you, we don't want to hear this, you're not my type stuff. I'll be honest with you, dead it. We don't want to hear it. We're not interested in you're not my type stuff. And you can feel it because the connection between SK and Raven, you can see in their awkwardness and even the way the physical distance between them at the very beginning was a problem. You could see that. At one point they mentioned it, how they were sitting on the sofa and both were sitting on the opposite ends. Then that scorpion touch that you lot be talking about, that was the most awkward thing I've ever done seen. Okay? My hands would have been all up in there. You know what I mean? All up in there. You know what I mean? And I would have been confident because I know you fancy me, I fancy you. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to think twice about engaging in your space. But when somebody doesn't fancy you or doesn't feel like you're their type, there is that hesitation about the movement physically into that realm. So I can also understand that point of view as well. So I'm gonna say both. I definitely feel like he blindsided her. Old Boy was doing people pleasing stuff, and I don't like that kind of stuff. You know me, I always call a nice guy out, so I don't like that stuff. But I definitely also take the other side, which is, you know what? I'll be real with you. When someone doesn't find you attractive, and they're not your type, and this, I think this is the part where we are saying as men that it's difficult. And I take what Jay is saying. I think in the instance where there's an attraction, but it's like slightly different, and you're not having to force yourself to maneuver towards me, I think that's a different conversation. I think with Raven, what we did see was it did feel like she was having to move herself to try and make this happen. And I think that's slightly different to, you know what, maybe you're not my type, but you know what, I find you attractive. I don't feel like we got that from Raven. Do you know what I mean? I felt like Raven was almost doing the thing that we've been talking about, which is, you know what, you're ugly to me, but you know what, you got some aspects of you that make me feel safe, so I'm gonna try. And when you do that, and when you're in that space and you're having to try, I feel like you get the response that you get where you're not trying to touch the person too much, or you don't want to get too close, and it becomes awkward for both people. So definitely though, I agree. He should have let her know. Heads up from early. He blindsided her. He's a yes man, and for me, he has to take accountability for that yes man stuff. Stop telling women that you know what, you're perfect for me, when you know damn well right she ain't perfect for you. You know damn well right she don't fit into your family. You know damn well right the friends were cussing you out and you were feeling some type of way. You know damn well right not a family not being involved in a wedding situation was problematic. Just speak up. Don't blindside the person. That's what I would say about the SK situation. I think that's a fair smoke that to give him. I'm not even going to be mad at that. Yeah. So he someone might say that he played Raven. Some might say that. Some might say that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say he is, but I'm saying some might say that. It'd be the nice guys. It'd be the ugly guys that play that you'd be pissed off.
Yep, and that's the thing, right? It'd be like, you had the nerve. That's when it comes out, right? You had the nerve. You got a lot of nerve. Look at how you look. Doing that to me. Look at how I look.
Pay me like that.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I see the ladies talking about, oh, she had sex with him. Yeah, she gave him the pity pumps.
Did she say him? Did they
I
say
believe
to him?
so. I think she gave him the pity
Is
pumps.
it?
Yeah. I think they did it.
No.
They said after marriage.
I believe, I swear, I probably need to go back and watch, but I really do remember some of the women in the chat are saying it too, that, she said they slipped up. I think there was some allusion to them slipping up.
The only time I can see they slipped up is when they did the women being intimate in the pool. That's the only time I saw where could have rolled up to the point of being intimate, in the bedroom. But outside of that, I didn't see anything that could lead in that direction. Maybe it was off camera. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, April Love is saying they did. Yeah.
No.
I remember a comment or something in there in the dialogue that alluded to that they did something.
No way.
All right, so they said after the pool, they both confirmed it. See, that's what I was saying. Like the pool, they got really intense, but it started with that scorpion sting and them thumbs he did. It started from there, then went to the pool, then went to the bedroom. So I think that's possibly how it happened. But that, like I said, there was no other point in the show where I felt that they were intimate enough or being around each other flirty enough to transition to that. Unless it was, like I said, unless it was all camera.
Raw, so they slept together. Oh, so nigga. Nigga played her. I can't lie to you. I'm sorry. Y'all, I can't defend that, bro. I can't defend that.
That's there,
work on the pumps?
I didn't know that either.
We can't defend him.
I didn't know that. Yeah. It's
Yeah, but they want to
Send
be
that to
on
the
their high
graveyard.
horse and stuff like that, talking all this nonsense or whatnot. And it's like, okay.
He shoplifted.
We didn't know that piece of information. We happy to rescind our position if we knew this information. Now we know he sent to her. We can say he played her. Simple as because at that point you know exactly what you're doing. Nah, we don't mess with him. He send him to the wolves.
Yeah.
Send him to the wolves.
He shoplifted that. He definitely did. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't cool. That's not cool at all.
And that's why you don't be putting nobody above their position, because she over here growing in love and he's growing and playing in her face. And that's exactly why. Don't be growing in love with these dudes. Y'all right, okay? But y'all want to be loved at first sight. Let's love y'all at first sight. And if you don't, leave them at first sight. Because they look, that's what they asked for. They said all of y'all and women's in the chat, don't listen. Y'all ain't listening to what they said. They said love them at first sight, leave them hell alone. Okay? That's what Raven should have did.
I just want you to have
Nobody said love.
Desire for me.
No one. Let's see
y'all better get practice
on
their pheromones and everything about them. Okay.
No, I just know what it feels like when you desire me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but a lot of desire.
You ever been around? Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that you ever been around? Okay, like I think so the difference here, I think if the only way we can make this understandable is like the example is is what's his name, the rapper, and his wife. That kind of, when that person doesn't desire you, you feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can tell he doesn't desire his wife. Let's be honest. That's my personal opinion. He don't desire his wife. The rapper guy, and what I did, the Nigerian rapper.
Toby
His
and
name-
Fats, and it doesn't work
Thank
in
you,
the
Toby
man's space, and it's a woman's space though, because you guys don't grow to like them when they're not. You guys are not physically attracted to them in the first.
I agree. So I'm not saying that it's exactly the same. What I'm saying is, but you see how this works. I'm saying to you, if I'm interacting with you first, oftentimes if you're not comfortable with me in your face, you do feel it. So if you're growing to like this, I'm saying to you, I don't understand why I would want to settle with somebody who, when they first get around me, are apprehensive to be around me because they're growing to like me. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. If you have an immediate attraction that may not be necessarily all the way physical, I could rock with that. I personally could rock with that. Do you know what I mean? Because you're showing me that you're already comfortable. You can move to. You're acting like nothing's different. But if you're acting like something's different, like you say, you pretending that I want to wait when really you don't want to wait. I'm ugly to you. It's okay. I'm ugly to you. There is someone else out there that's not ugly to you that you're not going to say, I'm going to wait, because you want to grow in your aspect. So that's what I'm talking about. When there's a change in that behavior, you can feel it. If you don't desire me, you can feel it. So for me, that's what I'm saying to you. Like, it's not just a physical per se, it's the desiring, that aspect that shows in the behavior. No, I get it now. I hear what you ladies are saying about growing or whatever. I'm saying, but if you know that when you get your first time when you're being around, you're like, I don't even want this nigga to even touch me. I'm like, leave me alone. There's other people for you to go after. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel you, Kojo. I think the dudes that are willing to sacrifice that are the dudes who are shooting above their station anyway. Like you have that feeling, and I can understand that, I respect that. But SK was willing to fight through that because he wanted to get to the prize of having a girl he may not have been able to pull just yet in his regular day to day. And so he fought through that to get the prize and then played in her face at the end. So that's my thing. Corey, I don't know why you looking, because there's dudes out here. There's dudes out here that will play the long game if they think they can get a girl that they don't feel like they normally could get. And so they'll fight through what Kojo just talking about, his experience, to get a girl that they believe is above their station.
See,
so that's the only reason why I push back on your all dudes thing or dudes like this,
That's
because there is a lot of dudes who may be considered unattractive to some, that if they can play the long game with a woman that they believe is too good for them, they will. That's all I'm saying. But maybe the average dude, I get it. I get what Kojo's saying. I can understand that, for real. I really can. But I'm just saying. And then there's a lot of girls on the back end who's like, hey, they've been getting dogged out by dudes left and right. And they're like, you know what? Let me give this dude that I don't find as attractive a shot. I'm gonna put him through the ringer and we'll see. And a lot of times those people meet in the middle and they have happy long relationships. The one dude shooting above his station and the other woman giving a dude that she doesn't find attractive a chance. And they meet themselves in the middle. And actually, y'all been really pissed because Raven was actually on her TikTok talking about, I fell in love with a square and now I love him. She's on TikTok saying that. And all I can do
there lies. See, Wade, the more you talk, the more you get to the crux of what we're talking about. That narrative is horrific. And somehow women have normalized it to think that however y'all arrive at, there is a man out there that loves to hear that. And I'm telling y'all, nobody likes to hear it.
First of all, if you're gonna play me on national TV, you better be prepared to hear all kind of stuff on live. So that's the least that she can do. That's the least that she can do. So that's what he get. That's what he get. You just said and said that's what she get. That's what he get. That's payback.
No. Don't make it a dark art segment.
Nah.
You just got to saying that's what she get, and so that's what he get in return.
This plays out all the time. Kojo, we did that whole breakdown where the woman told the love story of not being physically attracted to her husband and blah, 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 right? He ain't do nothing to her. He was sitting at home minding his business while she decided to share across social media. And these stories happen. It's not always when the woman is jilted. It's just, it plays out this way and nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it.
Well, this one is he did something and she got her payback.
Um,
I fell in
Ed,
love with a square.
Eddie Kane Jr. said 2 wrongs don't make a right. Okay,
And
so
Eddie
what that
Kane
means,
Jr. is a fictional character.
but I'm saying though, 2 wrongs don't make a right. So you can say that SK is wrong and not hold Raven accountable. You got to hold both of them accountable. They both played a part in what took place.
Did that already, Corey. Go back to the other lives. We
I
was
fell
on
in
Raven's
love
ass
with
all the way
a square.
through. Raven was getting rolled the whole way through.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. My bad.
But you know what? The problem is both of us are actually right. Y'all are right, but what you're not seeing is that I'm right too. Because, well, Kojo sees it a little bit, but what I'm trying to get around to is saying that SK is cool with Raven calling him a square. That's my point. There's a subset of dudes who's like, look, I got the prize. I don't give a F if you think I'm a square. I'm a square and I got you. So what that make you? That's all I'm saying. I'm not
Where do you
saying
get that information that he's okay with being called a
because
square?
because I believe. Okay, why is he still with her? It's clear that
They
he's
still
still with her.
together.
That's
And she's
not
openly calling him a square. All I'm saying is, she know Raven's an open book, right? We can all agree with that. She's been openly calling him a square this whole time. If he's not okay with it, then what are you still around for? And I am not normalizing, ladies and gentlemen, getting on the internet and doing any of the stuff that these women have doing. I'm not normalizing that Facebook post that launched the 7 C's of the men's panel. I'm not condoning that. I'm not condoning getting on TikTok and saying I fell in love with a square. All I'm saying is that SK know good and well she thought he was a square, and he's cool with it because he got her 10. He got his 10. He's cool with it. That's all I'm saying.
So, yeah, listen, so I think majority of men, majority of, let me not even say majority. I would say there's a lot of us men that really and truly, when I don't want to hear you say I'm a square, a chicken salad. I don't want to hear you say he ugly, but etc. etc. But I do. There are brothers, we have to admit there are, and we have a name for them, or at least Repel do, simps. We have them. Okay. Who usually are happy to sit in positions like this where they're happy to take certain, like they're willing to exchange the fact that they may not quote unquote be that person's preferential type aesthetically for the opportunity to date that person. Which, there are some men. I call them orbiters. Men that orbit the friend zone usually. Men that are willing to bide their time and wait their turn until it officially becomes their turn when the girl has finally been tired of all the trash new niggas you've been dealing with. There are guys like that. You know what I'm saying? So in this particular situation with the SK situation, hey, look. It seemed like he was orbiting and waiting his opportunity time and collected Raven. Now, obviously, we see that he kind of played her. I'm a person that says, listen, just as you choose the guy that's ugly to you, ladies, he. I always say this: 95% of men, they're bastards. The other 5 just don't know how, and they've not had the opportunity for it. You know what I'm saying? So if you think that the man that is ugly is gonna make you, is gonna love you even more, please, they are also the bastards as well. They're just waiting their turn. You understand?
Now that's a word, Kojo. Now that's what y'all should.
No.
That's what you should have said on that men's panel.
I think that
That's
the man
what
got his daddy.
Kojo, please.
Now that's
With
the
your percentages, you sound
That's
like
the one.
hell now.
Hold on.
That's not what I meant. No. That's not what I meant.
Let me change this all real
in
quick.
Yeah,
All
this is
fairness,
what
Wait, that's
happened.
not what I actually meant.
Exactly.
Kojo
So,
First of all, I think that
Yeah.
man grew up. Nope. I think that man got his daddy, and they was married when he was born. So no.
That's
So,
twisting
but
my
in all
words.
fairness of the whole square thing, though, I think she could have been defending the fact that his mother is the one who called him a square. So that's who actually called it on the show. It was his mom. She was like, yes, my son is a bit of a square. That's where that came from. So she might have just been defending comments of saying this man is a square or whatnot. And so she's saying I'm in love with a square. So
no more percentages, please. Let's keep the percentages off the platform, all right? They get skewed.
Not according to Samson. They out there. Go check them.
Ain't nobody quoting that man. He is out of control.
That look, Samson speaking for Samson. I can't even say that seriously.
Samson represented for y'all men.
What happened to Mr. Samson? He is not any
Mr.
representative from a camp that I
can't even call him Mr. Samson because he look a good 35. I don't know. I'm struggling with that because he did not look 50. He did not look like he was pushing 50.
Every time you see that dude in a baseball cap, you go backwards.
I don't know about backwards. I think I keep my same stance, but the Mr. Samson, when you look 35, I don't know.
Yeah, but this when I say backwards, I mean like when you were seeing him on the TV screen without the baseball caps, he was Mr. Samson. When he showed up on this live with the baseball cap, the first time we engaged with him, that's when you thought he read a little younger than you thought. And then here again, he wore a baseball cap for you, and he resonated a little younger again.
Oh, maybe that's it, because he did look age appropriate. He looked like he was in the right field. But yeah, when he ain't got that cap on and he start talking too long, he start telling his age. So that's probably right. That's probably what he say. He said something, and Brandy was like, "Ooh." That's a little. He said something. I forgot what that man say. I don't even remember.
I can't even deal with you right now.
It was something like being not a freak, but he used a different word. Kinky. He said kinky.
Why she called him? Oh, she's like, I ain't never heard that. People certain age use that word. I said, oh.
Yes, I was crying. I'm like, he over here telling his age.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like Justin and start unfollowing the whole cast of Ready to Love after they acting up here on this good platform.
No, don't quote Justin, because I was the only one defending his ability and his right to unfollow him.
Well,
I got called a Justin apologist, so I was a Justin apologist, a godly kinky man. Y'all better leave these Morehouse men alone. They're gonna lead you to destruction.
Morehouse, what we got a whole list going. You Nigerian,
Hampton, what is it? Hampton. Oh shit.
The Hampton men, okay, but these Morehouse kids will lead you.
Not. Child,
they left.
Spellman.
Well, ain't no men in Spellman. If you find a man in Spellman, then you really got an issue.
It's 2020. It's 2020.
I was gonna say, I don't know nowadays. Now, I don't know nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
It's 2020.
They might be a Justin-looking man, but I'm just saying.
Hey, Jay, you better go on from my side. We done got enough smoking drama this last 48 hours.
I got my preference up right now, so y'all don't know. This is a whole white woman speaking.
Oh gosh, I'm done.
But what I think, what Kojo glanced over, which honestly, take it from a man's mouth, y'all need to listen. Before you quote unquote settle with an ugly dude, is nothing worse than when an ugly dude play you, or when you let a broke dude play you. Like, so please, like, before you think you're doing a man a favor, look, all these men will play in your face.
Thank you, C-Way. Help him out.
You see, they think they're doing us a favor. So that's what I'm trying to say to you. Don't choose me, all right? Don't do me a favor. I don't want the favor. I don't like the favor.
Because look,
you need to stop wearing them gray sweatpants if you wanted to focus on your face. These sweatpants is a distraction.
That's when we get in the group chat. Be like, I gave this ugly nigga a chance and he had the nerve to play in my face. Yeah,
see? That's what I'm trying to say. You don't want to be that guy. All right.
You'd have caught Corey's attention. He said, what?
Wait a minute.
Oh, you like me because you like me.
Because you think you're pretty and you think he's unattractive, that means you're above being played? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that's how women feel. I'm not speaking just for me.
Interesting. Because some some of the behaviors of a pretty woman can be toxic. It can be, and that's the reason why you get played.
This
But
is
I
the
mean,
reason why, Corey. I'm glad you brought that up because these behaviors that SK pulled. This is why pretty women get toxic later on. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? This
because
is where it
honestly, he
starts.
built a
so
monster.
Where it start. He done built the
See, you
monster.
wasn't
Now
toxic
she got.
before.
She sat there and was like, I don't even want to get married again. See, that's what I'm saying. Now she about to be a reckless 304 up in these streets now. See what I'm saying?
Get
she
the
didn't like him.
EpiPens
She
out.
didn't like
Let's
him.
The
let's use
She
it.
liked him.
accountability,
Yeah.
allergies,
You know what I'm saying?
and
Hey,
all
it's
of
not
that.
accountability. Men lead the world. Hello. So look what he
They
did
want
in
to
his
lead when they
leadership.
want to, and
Hello.
they want to
Exactly.
Y'all
No,
want to be
Exactly.
submissive,
how?
and y'all want to be
Exactly.
women when it's convenient for y'all, and y'all
Exactly.
want
I'm
to
a
be
woman every day.
equal,
What
and
you
then you
talking
want
about?
to
I'm a woman
change.
every single day.
Every day?
Every single day.
Okay. You don't want to take
No.
that last name, no.
y'all
When it
want to
ain't
drive
convenient
one
for
day,
you.
next day y'all
You
want
don't
to
want to take that
customize.
last
I ain't getting no
name.
ring, so
You
I
don't
ain't
want to
taking a
be
thing.
submissive. You don't want to be agreeable
Oh, I'm
until you
submissive.
want
It's
to.
just not to you every day, niggas.
Boy, I
There,
tell you
that's
the
the
truth.
slippery slope.
There's no winning.
That's a slippery slope.
There's no winning.
That's what James word was. Slippery
Come on,
slope.
travel down this dark closet with me.
No, I won't. I won't do it.
No, I'll get in there. Let's go.
Corey
Don't
said he
follow her,
wanna.
bro.
Corey said he wanna.
Hey,
What's that
I'll
little
choose,
hand that comes out the
I'll
closet?
choose violence today.
What's
I'll
that little
choose
hand that
violence.
comes out the closet that's coming in you?
You better not follow. Corey,
Just
you
follow
better
my
not follow.
voice.
Don't get sucked in. Any more thoughts on SK and Raven before we bring it to a close?
Well, I think
Right,
from something
Andrea.
behind the scene, I've seen that they are still together besides the live that Seaway. So
Yeah, I
I
think
guess
so,
they're
yeah.
still working it out. So maybe there was some talk had sometime down the road. So.
Yeah, because she don't want to go back. She rather
The streets.
work it out with the square than go back to these streets. So that's where she's at.
AC Way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think SK is capable of getting a pretty woman? Because you made a comment earlier. I'm curious. Do you think that?
I do.
You
He got
think
one.
he's okay? You think he's but he did it was behind the scenes in the pods. I'm talking about like if he went up to a woman at a bar, at a lounge. Do you think that Raven would have given him the time of day?
No, because that's not how a person like SK gets a pretty woman.
So
Person like SK don't get a pretty woman like that.
how does he do it?
He has to be an orbiter, like what Coach just said, or
Popping bottles.
yeah, or he gotta flex. He gotta flex his money,
His muscle.
or this is a far-fetched idea. He can also find a pretty girl that's more similar to him, that is not in that type of world, who may have
Space.
like
Mhm.
interests and values, and then he can find a pretty girl like that, and she may not even be a pretty girl that knows she's this pretty, because she's not gonna value some of those superficial things that maybe Raven a value. But if we're just talking about a Raven type pretty girl versus just a regular, pretty girl,
What's
then
a Raven?
yeah, no.
What's
Huh?
the difference? What's the difference between a Raven type pretty girl versus a regular pretty girl?
Raven is the more, I think Raven has more of the IG aesthetic. Everything seems to be about keeping up appearances. She's working out while people are talking. She's hyper aware of her beauty. That's why Bartise calling her pretty really did not move not even an inch of a needle. She's aware, she knows of that. Versus women who have a lot going for them, who happen to be pretty. And their beauty is both inside and out, but they're also aesthetically, pleasing to most people. I do think SK can find a woman like that, no problem. I think if he wanted to try to get someone like Raven, he's gonna have to pull a more orbiter type of vibe, or try to flex his money, or try to flex some type of other stability that they maybe don't have. Because that's really what women are looking for at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna go with, Corey. 'Cause just from what we've seen of SK, he gives me more introverted. So I don't think that he would just like naturally walk up in a regular swaggy way to her and be like on a Bartese type energy. You know what I mean? But I think in the right settings, maybe if they met like in a business office, or like, I don't want to say like a library, but somewhere in those line settings, a coffee shop or something where it's just more intellectual feeling, I think he would be more comfortable to open up and talk and have a conversation more than at a club or something like that. Like,
Okay. Okay. Makes sense, ladies. I appreciate that. I was asking because I don't have any male friends that are orbiters like that, or like what you guys saying. This is my first time hearing that, so I appreciate that feedback.
There's a lot of those orbiters around, bro. Trust me. They're just not in our kind of vicinity. Do you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't orbit, I wouldn't orbit, Sean
Yeah.
wouldn't orbit anymore. Do you know what I mean? If a girl
Hey,
tells me she's not really
Yeah.
feeling me, I'm out. Like,
you guys might have them in your friend group. You just don't know it what they're doing when you guys are not around. They probably don't give you that when they're around because I know some that have this energy that they seem like they will approach people on a regular basis, but they will sit in a woman's life for a very long time to still try to get her while they have still talked to other people in the meantime, So you guys might have them around you, you just don't notice it.
Okay.
Y'all will probably have to be in a group of having female friends that he's actually interested in too. You might notice it then.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but there's a lot of pretty girls that are really into like your personality and the way that you treat them. And so, I mean, that's why I can't say that SK can't pull, even though I don't like the aspect of his personality being a snake in the grass. So I can't vouch for that. But I mean, there's a lot of dudes that, like it's their swag, it's their demeanor, it's their confidence, it's the way they treat you. It's actually what a woman is really, looking for versus someone who has like Devin from Ready to Love, right? When I think a lot of women first saw him, they thought he was like pretty cute. But it's like literally that lasted all of 5 seconds because then he started talking about how he don't take care of his kids. And there was like not a lot of depth there at all. It seemed like kind of empty. And so I think with women, a more average looking dude that has a bomb personality goes way further. Way further. Whereas I think men, I've noticed that y'all will keep an IG baddie around with no substance around. I'm not saying y'all three, but a lot of men I've noticed that will keep a woman around that has little to no substance because she looks good. And I don't see women doing that as long. So
Question to you guys: makeup or see, Coach? We already know your answer, but makeup or no makeup for your ladies?
Oh, none. It's very important. And it's a good point you brought that up because it's very important for me to see how you look without the makeup. I mean, if you want to do makeup, that's your choice. I'm not telling a woman she can't wear makeup, but as far as me, I prefer that natural beauty, and I like to see a woman without makeup. That lets me see exactly what's really going on, and I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there.
Sean want a full beat and some high heels, so we could just skip past him.
No.
Not to skip past him.
Little to no. I prefer, little to no and no extreme. I mean, if you like a little whatever, but I'm not for the extremes.
What they really saying, ladies, is they want you to throw on that Fenty tint when y'all go out, and then when you at home being able to have the bare face. Because when they be talking about no makeup, and then that same people talk about you look dead.
Okay, I'm
I like
confused. What are they talking about? What is a Mitch?
Oh,
What's
it's
a
married
Mitch?
at first sight.
Married at first sight.
Okay, what do you say?
That's what he kept saying to Kristen, that he likes her natural.
I like girls natural
He
too.
kept talking about not liking makeup, but meanwhile he was loving her mama. So
No, the reason why I asked it, and I know being Kojo is younger than you two. I know from y'all generation, you guys generally come from me. All the three of us is like in the same generation where makeup wasn't like a big thing. Like our mothers barely wear lipstick for the most part or whatever and stuff. That'd be the most. But that's like this new generation now. Nothing, no disrespect to you guys, but half of y'all are a whole nother face. And I'll just be like, oh my gosh. So that's why I had to ask. I know that it's kind of hard with you guys, but I was like, I need some people younger because younger men would be like, I need a full face. And I was just thinking about Mike with Brandy. That was the one reason he was attracted to Brandy because he said she looks like her, even without the makeup.
Makeup.
And I did see her without the makeup, and I was like, yeah, she's very
I
beautiful.
agree.
Yeah,
You know
I mean,
what's so funny about that, Jay, is that my mom did wear makeup. I do remember seeing her as a kid and all that stuff. But my dad, I remember him saying, and it stuck with me all these years when I was younger. He would always comment, even after they weren't together anymore. He would say, he always admired her makeup because although she put it on, it didn't look extreme. So, yeah, I've seen it. I just don't mind it. I just prefer it to not be extra, right? And all the different colors. I'm just not a fan of the colors. And I know, like you said, even now more than ever, a lot of women are exploring colors and, like they'll have green on their eyes to match their outfit, And for me, I just don't really like that look per se. But if a woman wants to wear lipstick or whatever on her face, a little of this, a little of that, as long as it don't look caked on and look very dramatic, I'm with it. That's
I
where
actually think we're
I'm.
trending back. We're trending back towards the 90s.
Yeah, because it just reminds
me.
me of, that lady Mimi from whatever show that was. I just keep thinking about Mimi. What's that show?
Mimi?
Black Ink Crew?
It's a show. Drew Carey. What's the guy's name?
Oh, I know that. Yeah. I remember her. The little round lady.
Now you aging yourself again, Sean.
I remember
exactly.
Sean.
I'm telling
the little round lady with the wig. All that makeup she used to have on her face.
Yeah. And the eyes be like, bah, 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 bah.
Yeah, because I remember dudes used to tell these girls all the time to stop wearing them bat lashes. And I swear girls would tussle with the dudes to the end about them bat lashes. But the 90s minimum makeup look, the look that a lot of men think is actually no makeup.
I love that.
It's coming back. Like people will tell you the most popular, that's why I mentioned the Fenty skin tint. It's really big now, is like taking care of your natural skin and then throwing on your flawless filter, your Fenty skin tint, where you basically look like yourself. You're just covering up any small marks and stuff like that.
I need to go invest in
that's
some of
what's
that.
coming back. And honestly, for a tomboy, that's better for me.
Yeah, I like that. I like that natural look. But I like the beat. I like when they're beat, but they look natural. I can't master it for shit, but I like it.
I definitely do like the natural face. You know what? Good old cocoa face up was the one. You know what I mean? But hey, listen. I prefer that. If you want, and for me as well, I like if you are gonna do makeup, I like like you're saying, the Fenty. If it's gonna be light, not too much. You know what I mean? As for me, I like the contours of your face, a little bit of blemish. I like these little things, but I understand for women, it's to make them feel they like to have that kind of stuff. But yeah, I like that natural stuff. You know what I mean? It's almost like I said about the tiger claws. I like seeing tiger claws. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to see that natural stuff. But I can take a soft beat. You know what I mean? I can take a soft beat.
Yeah,
like Kate when she was on.
Yeah, like Kaden's on. Or she said she didn't have the makeup on, so
Yeah,
I like
Kaden was another one beautiful without makeup.
Yeah, I mean, you can be beautiful without makeup and use makeup as like an enhancer, but I don't want you to transform. When you put makeup on, like you become a whole different person.
That's the one that scares me, bro.
Yeah, that's very scary. That's why I have to see without it. Like we can't date for X amount of time, and I not see you without makeup. It just seemed like you're hiding something to me. I don't know. Maybe just me. I'm not sure.
I mean, and I know it was going to be far off subject, but because it is a type of love is blind type thing. In India, a man had actually sued his wife for this reason because he always seen her with makeup on or whatever, and he never seen her without until after they were married. And when you do look at the pictures, it was a whole nother woman outside of the makeup. It was like, oh my gosh, she was actually pretty good with it. She might want to get a job in that, but
Yeah, man. Some people are really, really skilled at recreating themselves, and as skillful as that is, I want no parts of that.
That's my thing. That's also my thing. If I see huge difference between the makeup and the thing, I get scared personally. And that's just me. I just personally get scared, and I need women to understand it is kind of scary. I just, yeah, I just imagine, and do you know what is happening? You're gonna be dating men soon, ladies, and they're gonna remove their wig, and they're gonna remove their scalp for you. Okay, you're gonna be talking one day. He's gonna lift up that head top, and maybe ladies will be comfortable with it. I don't know, but for you're gonna see that sometimes the stuff it can be scary. And I'm not talking about wigs per se on women. I'm saying in terms of men using different aesthetics. Suddenly he's talking to you. He's now removing his beard.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
the fake beards
Ladies,
are
is that
crazy.
what you want to see? Yeah, I'm just saying, is this what we want to see, ladies? Maybe ladies can cope with this. Let me not assume. I'm saying for us as men, we can't. But for ladies, can you cope with that? Him removing his beard, removing that fine hairline that he's
Yeah,
got suddenly.
sometimes. No, listen, don't mess with y'all hairline because y'all go crazy, okay? Y'all be ready to take me to don't mess with y'all hairline. But you know what? Sometimes y'all beard makes a big difference. Y'all mustache make a
I hear you.
big difference. And when y'all take that off, it's like, oh, it's almost the same as her taking her makeup off. It's like, who is this person?
Yeah, okay. I think I'm
agree
gonna cut
that.
my beard. I'm gonna cut my beard, Jay, and I want you to tell me if you see a difference.
Don't do it, nigga.
I would tell you.
I feel like you can rock a no beard, Corey.
Honesty.
I feel like
See,
you could
wait.
do that. You already kind of got a baby face. I feel like you could do it.
See, wait, don't do that.
Thank you, C. Well, I appreciate that. I've been contemplating. I've been thinking about
Free
chopping the beard.
yourself. Free yourself.
Yeah, but
Don't free
it's a
yourself.
part. It's a part of my branding too. You know what I'm saying? It's here. It's everywhere. The beard is there. You know what I mean? So thinking about it though. Thinking about
Let me
it.
tell you something. You're going to take off that beard, and if you're really handsome, it works. If you're not, you're about to drop a few points. I'm just going to be real with you. For us as men, beards can save your life. Literally can save your life. A small beard, a mustache beard, a little one that goes around here, a little goatee, all of that can save your goddamn life. You take that off, if you ain't cute, we going to know.
But see, you know what? The thing for me though is that works for me is the fact I can shave my beard off and it grows back still full. But some men can have a full beard, shave it off, and it grows back patchy. You know what I mean? So they have to wait a longer period of time for it to grow back. 2 weeks, my beard is right back to being full and thick again. So
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, because sometimes between the summer, the spring, and the winter, like I play with the length. So start by taking it real close. You can take it real close, and then that way you get the effect. And before you go, you fully dive in and trim it off.
Yeah.
Fair point.
I just pray because some people be looking like pedos with it off. I'd be like, oh my God, please grow it back.
Draw it back.
Draw it back something. Get a little beard wig or something. This ain't right. Some people can do it though. Some of y'all can actually get away with it. Y'all have both looks. Y'all got all them looks going and stuff. And some they just it might just be a shock to us too, because we might be so used to you with having a certain look on you that when you do change it is something to just get used to, So.
Yeah, I get that. I think for the men's panel next week, I think I'll switch it up. See how that goes.
It's right around your birthday.
Ooh, that's right. I don't know. I want to mess with that.
Bring your B-Day in fresh, brother.
Right. I don't know. Smooth face birthday. I don't know.
I'm as smooth as the Lord brought you here.
It's the birthday.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that was a little after dark. Yeah. Any other thoughts on SK Raven before we bounce, guys?
No.
Well, look at us. No. We turned this around. Corey still don't know where we came from. He just know where we're going.
I'm just along for the ride,
Yeah, no. We just looking forward to these other yes or no's and coming up.
Yeah, we got the cliffhanger. I think that's the big one, is to see what happens between Nancy and Bartise,
Please stop making this man an islander. Talk about Bartise.
Call that man Beatrice.
You can call him barista like I was doing. I was saying barista.
I call him
Good up,
Beatrice.
son.
Eraserhead Negro. You get on my nerves that they're going barista.
No, Baptiste said he a 10. Respect him.
With a negative sign in front of it. Oh.
I can't wait to see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how these other people fare out on their yeses and nos. So, whew, child. I'm actually just waiting for the after the I do's and whatnot.
Who said what did we have a decision already?
Just the one, SK and Raven.
Oh, and okay, so it was just those two. Oh, I hope they don't drag this for like 5 episodes. Like, just let us know. And
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know all the couples. Just let us know, please, within these next couple of episodes.
Is it just supposed to be 2 or is it another 3? It's just 2, right?
I think it's 2. They usually end with 14 episodes, and
Oh well, this is the
Oh,
last
shoot.
one was up to 10 then. Okay.
oh no. But the 14 is usually with the including like the reunion and then when they go back and da da da.
Oh, okay. So then 2 and then 2, maybe 2-part reunion, maybe.
Right.
Okay, I can deal with that. Yeah, I can deal with that.
Well, the sun is
I
up
can
in
deal
the
with
UK.
that. I can do that. Can you tell us?
No, I just know.
It's almost
Okay,
up. It's almost
psychic.
up now. It's almost up. Sean,
Wait,
give us a
tapped
benediction.
into Mercury rising, so she knows.
Mercury had to be a retrograde today. It was a full moon. I don't know if it's
Double
a full moon
retrograde.
where y'all at, but
It was
there
a
was
full moon.
Is it
Well,
a
tonight was
full
full
moon
moon.
over where you at?
I don't know, but I turned into a bit of a wolf
I
today.
can't
so
see the
maybe it
moon
is.
because there's a bunch of clouds over it. It's
I
supposed to
took a
rain.
picture. It was a full moon today.
I
Let
was
me look
trying to
on
look
my-
out the window.
Explains
Did
my
y'all
toxic
see a
behavior.
full moon today in the comments?
Let me look on my thing and see if it was a full moon because it was
I said it was a full
cloudy.
moon. I said it was a full moon.
Yeah, I got a perfect
No.
picture of a full moon today.
That's crazy because I only got a 3/4 I'm showing on my weather.
You know, LA be different.
Why do we have a different moon?
Anyway, what is you talking about? You sleepy. Now I take it back. Jay don't need to go to sleep. You need to go to sleep because not LA is a whole nother
LA got a whole different moon.
The Hollywood moon, we ain't even got a real moon. They just
No, hell no.
Y'all get lied to.
fair world.
Y'all different out there. I just figured y'all got a different moon at this point. Coach
No,
gonna
hey,
come to
bro,
LA and be like, where the hell am
I'm
I?
in LA. They not in LA. They all East Coast pretty much.
I don't even know. Does the moon look different in different places? I thought it did.
No,
So that's why I was laughing so hard.
It's
Well, that's why I was asking. That's why I was really
No, I was thinking,
asking.
what? Because you got a full moon, would we get a full moon? Because we're in different parts of the globe.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Moon.
Huh?
In the U.S., it should be the same moon because anytime there's a lunar eclipse or all that, they give it to us for everybody across.
But they're on a
Everybody,
different.
you get a moon eclipse.
Ain't they on a different rotation? Like this type of. I'm real ignorant to this. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought maybe.
But all the astrology.
Yeah, well, you're right. But I figured the UK may be on a different. They're rotating at a different time. So I'm like, did they have a full moon too?
The thing I would say about the moon,
it's the same everywhere.
No, I would say this about why it looks different because in certain states like Texas, where it's flat and all this, it looks closer and bigger than like here in LA because it's valleys and stuff. So a lot of parts of it will seem farther away in areas.
It was a big yellow moon. I got the picture.
I don't know.
I was like, what the
How
hell?
we got onto the solar system?
New York ain't even got no moon. Y'all can't even see crap.
What? Seaway.
Not New York. LA got a different moon. New York ain't got one at all.
New York ain't even got an effing moon. How you even see the moon?
Is a mega structure.
Go to sleep.
New York got rats, no moon, and skyscrapers.
The rats weren't even that big. Sean was jumping away from these rats. The rats weren't even that big. I thought it would be bigger. I was expecting some big rats.
Yeah, that's because y'all got some large size ones in the UK.
We've got some gigantic ones.
They said the
body
blood
just looking bodied up.
They said it'd be a blood moon on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, someone's getting sacrificed.
Okay, so hello said just Googled it. Everyone gets the same. It cut off. Same
I read that
thing.
as well.
Okay, thank you. Oh, okay. The New York.
Kojo, those was Brooklyn rats right by the water's edge too.
Not the Brooklyn rats, just different rats.
Yeah.
I saw those ones. I saw the one in Central Park rats. I mean, those ones were a little bit more friendly.
I was going to say, did any of them talk to you?
They did offer some
I don't
food
know
while
if
they
they
were
were
there.
friendly. They're fearless. They're not
Central
friendly.
Park rats were friendly. They were offering
No,
the
they
bean
just
to me.
don't care about you. They're like, look, you here, I'm here, move along.
I'm just gonna say they allow me to take photos of them. That's what I'm trying to say, up close and personal. So I think
they
personally
don't have the fear of humans. That's the problem. That's what makes it even worse.
Yeah.
and I appreciate that for that.
New York is the first place I seen like rats out in the open in the daytime. I never knew that was like a thing.
You go into the subway,
daywalkers.
Yeah, that's insane. Where we wound up seeing them was, I don't know, Seaway, if you've ever been to Dumbo, but we were in the Dumbo area, right on the edge of, I don't know what water outlet that is, but anyway, right underneath the Manhattan Bridge and right by the Brooklyn Bridge, and they like really made a nice park that's along the, right along that body of water that's right there. We took some great shots, some pictures, but it started to get like dark, and the rats was coming up off the water's edge. I was like, Kojo, let's go.
Oh gosh.
And he was like, not even phased. I was like, nah, bro, we good over here.
I don't mind rats. I just don't like them aggressive ones that press you like they from the hood and stuff. Like they want to check you and ask you where you from. Like, why are you running up on me? What did I do to you? Not even going in your direction.
They dare you to buy.
Right. Like, they're like, why are you chasing me, sir? What's wrong with you? They so disrespectful. Man.
They said New York City rats be late for work.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Kojo about to they said Kojo gonna make the rats go viral on your TikTok.
I appreciate it.
Oh man,
give us a benediction, bro. We'll talk after, innit? You know.
Is there a benediction to give? So who was the first? Oh, we talked about Matt and Colleen, right? So listen, again, look, heal. If you don't heal, it's gonna show up. What you don't heal will be revealed, right? So please do the work on yourself for any situations you've been through. Do the work, and if you are encountering somebody that seems like they got more work to do than you're able to deal with, please move on. Don't be somebody's therapist. That's not a good position to be in a relationship. They got to do their work and you got to do your work, So that's that. Then next we have Alexa and Brennon. I don't know. How much can one man take is that, right? Listen, it's great to have confidence. I think Seaway nicely put it, right? It's great to come from a good family, but, we also all need to be based in reality, right? We need to have a level set about who we are, what we deserve, and are those things going to bring us long-term relationship satisfaction, which is the most important thing, right? We want to have long-term lasting relationships that are healthy. Then we have Bartise and Nancy. Look, don't be nobody's second fiddle. Don't be nobody's second choice. And again, if you have grown in like and love, there's no need to dangle that carrot in front of your other person's your partner's face, right? Don't make them feel like they should feel grateful because you've chosen them. Love them if you choose to love them, but if you don't want them, let them go, right? Don't hold anybody hostage in a relationship. It's not a good thing. SK and Raven, some of us agree, some of us disagree. I still support him in his decision to choose to exit stage right. She ain't want him. She was going to run him through the mill regardless. But listen, I wish them the best as they're trying to make whatever they're trying to make a go. I hope it works. And back to you, Coach.
Listen, thank you very much, Sean. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for churning out. Y'all came out 200 strong at almost midnight time. So clearly you lot loved Love is Blind. We will reconvene again for when the new episodes come out. If you haven't already joined the Patreon, because we talk about the show whilst we're there as well, make sure you join the show. Make sure you join the show. Make sure you join the Discord and the Patreon as well. Get involved in the conversations as we discuss the shows live as well. So if you want a place where you can discuss your TV show, get involved with them, conversations, say your piece, this is the Discord you need to be involved in as well. But I want to thank you to my panelists, Seaway, Jay, Corey, Sean. Appreciate you for coming through and saying your piece on Love is Blind. I can't wait to chop up for the next episode as well. For those of you out there as well, listen, I don't do anything I wouldn't do. And you've seen what I can do. I can get things wrong. So, I appreciate you guys. Honestly, stay blessed. We'll see you tomorrow for Brandy and Mike at 7 p.m. So, yeah. So, just in case I'm cancelled by the audience, we'll see you again tomorrow. And then we'll also have the live after, because we'll have our live discussion as well. I think after the after Mike and Brandy, so 9 p.m. we'll have a discussion between the men and the women. All right. So, yeah, come be understood and have a real good conversation. All right. I appreciate you. All right. Much love and appreciation, guys. We'll see you again soon.